From terrifying clips of skinwalkers attempting to lure unsuspecting homeowners outside to unsettling footage of a haunted mannequin head that seems to have a life of its own, and even a clip claiming to provide proof of giants on Earth.
There's the big toe, and the other 4 toes, down to the small toe, down to the heel.
Nighttime often brings a sense of tranquility and peace, but beneath the quiet, you never know what lurking dangers can emerge. So if you hear something strange, resist the urge to step outside. It could be a trap with someone or something. The footage comes from a home security camera while the homeowner was fast asleep, blissfully unaware of what was happening right outside their door. In the video, we see the front of the house, quiet at first, and then we hear it, a strange, off-putting bark. It's like a dog's bark, but something's just wrong. It's almost too weird to pinpoint, as if it's trying to mimic a real dog, but missing the mark in the creepiest way possible. And then, the source of the sound makes its terrifying entrance. From behind the wall, a figure starts to peek out. But it's no dog. This thing has a twisted, unsettling appearance, with long webbed hands that seem all wrong for any normal creature, and those eyes, glowing in the dark, staring with the intensity of a predator sizing up its prey. You can practically feel its hunger through the screen. People who've watched this video are convinced this was a skinwalker, a shape-shifting entity from legend, using a distorted dog bark to lure the homeowner outside. I don't know about you, but I've always been hesitant to step outside at night. And after seeing this, nope. I'm not even getting out of bed after dark. Not worth the risk of running into that. We've always been fascinated by the uncanny valley, the eerie feeling when something almost, but not quite, human becomes unsettling. Statues are no exception. This next video comes from a group of hikers who stumbled upon a massive statue of a king, carved entirely out of wood, deep in the forest. At first, it looks like they're just having a fun time, casually filming themselves with this towering figure. But then, things get weird. Really weird. Look at its eyes. The eyes seem to be staring directly into the camera. And as the cameraman moves, the eyes appear to follow him. It's as if the statue is watching his every move. Even when the cameraman shifts to the opposite direction, the eyes continue to track him. Now, whether this is some kind of optical illusion, cleverly crafted by the artist, or something else entirely, I don't know. But one thing's for sure, this sight is enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. That's the kind of scare that sticks with you for life. Are you one of those people who sleep in just shorts or boxers because it's so much more comfortable? If you're nodding your head yes, this next video might make you seriously reconsider that choice. What in the world? This wild video comes straight from Bali, where something downright bizarre happened to a guy who was peacefully sleeping in his boxers. In the video, we see him lying frozen on his mattress, completely still, while another man carefully uses a hook to insert into his boxers. It all feels super strange. Like, what's going on here? And then, the hook latches onto something. And when it pulls out, it's a snake. Yep, you just saw that. A snake was chilling inside this dude's boxers, and the snake extractor calmly pulled it out. I can't even begin to imagine how he stayed so still with that massive snake slithering around in there. The fact that he didn't move and somehow stayed calm through all that. Man, that's intense on a whole new level. So yeah, lesson learned. Maybe think twice before opting for just boxers next time you hit the sack. It's the fear of the unknown that really messes with our minds, wondering what might be lurking just out of sight in places we can't see. And nothing amplifies that eerie feeling more than thick, mysterious fog rolling through the city, masking everything around you. This next video was recorded by an apartment owner who woke up one morning to find the entire city blanketed in a thick fog. At first, it just looks like typical weather. But as he continues recording, things get weird. The visibility is almost completely gone, but the creepiest part. The sounds coming from the fog. It's this haunting, deep noise, like something massive is out there, yelling. The fog keeps swallowing the entire city, creeping up over the buildings, and then, just when you think it couldn't get stranger, you see it, a massive shadow moving within the fog. And not just any shadow. This thing looks like something straight out of a nightmare, resembling Godzilla himself. You can actually see it moving through the fog, and paired with those bone-chilling sounds, it's seriously terrifying. What was that? Is the cameraman living in some kind of nightmare realm or what? Whatever it is, I wouldn't want to stick around to find out. If you are enjoying this so far, consider subscribing. It really helps me keep this channel going. Watching humans perform acrobatics is always impressive. Those insane balancing acts leave you in awe. But seeing an animal, especially a skunk, pull off something like that, now that's a rare sight. You won't believe the skill this little guy shows in this clip. This clip comes straight from Arish Canyon House's security camera, and it's definitely not your typical wildlife sighting. In the recording, we see the walkway in front of the house, all normal, and then a skunk struts into the frame. But wait, this isn't just any skunk. It's doing a handstand, yup, tail up in the air, walking on its two front paws, like it's training for the Animal Olympics or something. And it's balancing perfectly while walking like that. Totally bizarre. So what's up with this skunk pulling off such a weird stunt? Was it really practicing for an acrobatic show? Well, after digging around online, I found out the real reason. When skunks feel threatened, but don't want to spray right away, they give their potential predator a final warning by doing this handstand move. It's basically saying, back off, or you're about to regret it. So, next time you see a skunk pulling off some impressive handstand action, don't stand there and applaud. Get out of there fast. If you're a hiker or an outdoor enthusiast, you've probably heard whispers about the infamous tree spirit. Well, in this next video, one lucky, or maybe unlucky, hiker actually managed to capture what appears to be one of these mysterious beings. The video you just saw comes from a hiker who stumbled upon a bizarre sight. A tree that looked like something was stuck within its trunk. as the hiker films himself. You can see the tree in the background, and we can clearly notice there's something off. There's a bulge in the tree, and when the camera zooms in on it, things get even weirder. You can clearly make out what looks like a humanoid face shape, with eye sockets, a nose, and even a mouth. But here's the creepy part. It's all deformed, almost like the face is twisted in some kind of agonizing expression. Internet sleuths have chimed in, and many believe this could be a tree spirit trapped in the wood itself. After watching this, I've got to say, I'm starting to believe them. Whatever it is, it's hard to shake off that eerie feeling that something ancient is watching you from within the bark. For the Bigfoot enthusiasts out there, I recently managed to create a Bigfoot figurine that I absolutely love having as decoration in my living room, or gifting to some of my friends. If you would like to get one of these for yourself, check this link on the screen or from the video's description. There's a limited number of them. Driving at night always requires extra caution, even on highways, because in those dark, eerie hours, it's not just other drivers you need to watch out for. Sometimes it's things that aren't even human. This next clip shows a driver's terrifying near-miss experience with something truly unsettling. This clip shows a driver cruising down an almost empty highway at night. The road is quiet, with only a few cars scattered around. But then, out of nowhere, something suddenly appears in the middle of the road, illuminated by the car's headlights. As the car approaches, you can see this thing walking right in front of it. Thankfully, the driver narrowly missed whatever it was. The video cuts out after that, but the encounter is enough to leave you with chills. What's especially eerie is that the figure looks like a small humanoid child wandering alone on the highway in the dead of night. People online are already speculating that it's a ghost child, but before we jump to conclusions, maybe, just maybe, it was an actual lost child. Either way, this video is unsettling and terrifying. Whether it was paranormal or not, I can't imagine the fear that must have gripped that driver in that moment. Growing up, I always had an uneasy feeling around mannequins, especially the ones used in store displays. There was something about their lifeless, creepy eyes that gave me the chills. And just when I thought I'd outgrown that fear, this video comes along. This footage comes from a homeowner who had been experiencing strange paranormal events in his house. In the video, we see him pan the camera over to a decorative mannequin head placed on a table in the corner of the room. Harmless, right? But then, out of nowhere, the head starts moving. It rotates toward the camera in the creepiest way possible, and those unsettling eyes, they lock right onto the lens, as if they're staring directly into your soul. As the cameraman moves, the head eerily follows, keeping its cold, dead gaze fixed on whoever's behind the camera. But it gets worse, as if those wide, hellish eyes weren't terrifying enough. The head begins knocking things off the table like it's got a mind of its own. Trust me, if you value your sleep, you might want to rethink having creepy mannequin heads as decorations in your home. You don't want to be haunted by a head ghost. The ocean, as vast and deep as it is home to countless mysterious creatures, we've never laid eyes on before. Every now and then something bizarre surfaces, and one such weird creation was caught on cam, going viral. Okay, that's both creepy and kinda hilarious. This video was filmed by a beachgoer who stumbled upon a truly strange creature hanging out on the rocks. As you can see in the footage, this thing is unlike anything we're used to. It's got 10 arms, all radiating out from a round central body. But here's the weirdest part. Each of those arms ends in what looks like a little bushy tuft. Right in the middle of this creature's body is its mouth, and it's doing something eerily familiar. It's inserting each arm one by one into its mouth, almost like it's licking its fingers after a delicious meal. My guess? Maybe those little bush-like tips caught some tiny prey, and now it's cleaning off the leftovers. Whatever the reason, this ocean oddball definitely knows how to keep things interesting. I have no idea what this creature could be, but if you've got any insights, let us know in the comments, because this is one mystery I'd love to solve. Ever had that eerie feeling like someone's watching you while walking down the street, only to brush it off as your imagination? Well, you might want to reconsider, just like this father and son duo had to. This chilling video comes straight from TikTok, where a father and son were out on a hiking adventure when they both felt an unsettling sensation, like something, or someone, watching them. What they discovered will give you goosebumps. In the video, they're exploring what looks like an old work site, when the father decides to zoom in on a small cavity in a nearby hill, and that's when the real shock hits. A face appears. Not just any face, but one made of mud, staring right back at them from the depths of the hole. And get this, it's smiling. The face is oddly humanoid, complete with eyes, a nose, and a wide, eerie grin. But here's the creepiest part. If you watch closely, you'll notice that it wasn't smiling at first. It's only when the cameraman zooms in that the face seems to form that unsettling smile, almost like it was reacting to being watched. Was this some kind of creepy art installation? Or is it just a freaky natural formation? Either way, it's seriously disturbing. If I were one of the workers around there, I'd think twice about leaving that thing uncovered. Maybe just seal it off for good. If you got so far in the video, it means you're a dedicated viewer. Thank you. And if you subscribe and hit the bell button, I promise to keep posting these for you to enjoy. Ever since the 2019 pandemic, it feels like the world's been acting a bit strange. And now, to top it all off, we've got a red sun in the sky with no clear explanation.
Na terra farei com que haverá sangue e fogo, e as nuvens de fumaça, o sol ficará escuro e tornará cor de sangue.
These two clips have gone viral, showing what looks like a giant, glowing red ball hovering in the sky. In the video, you can see the sun, but instead of its usual golden glow, it's this eerie, blood-red color, and people are understandably freaked out. Another video shows the same phenomenon, but this time the red sun is setting, creating a strange, apocalyptic vibe. This crimson sun has left everyone on the internet scratching their heads, so I decided to do a little digging. Turns out there's actually a scientific reason behind it. When the atmosphere gets filled with particles like smoke or dust, the light from the sun scatters. The longer wavelengths of light, like red, scatter more effectively through these particles, giving us this haunting blood sun effect. So yeah, it's still the same sun, just filtered through a smoky haze. Weird, right? Living alongside us, humans and our gadgets. Animals are getting smarter as time goes on. And this elephant is here to show you just how clever they can be. This video comes from India, where a driver managed to capture a pretty genius moment involving a massive elephant. In the video, you can see the elephant standing behind a metal wire fence, which, according to locals, is electrified. But this elephant? It's no rookie. Instead of charging through, it slowly approaches the fence and gently tests it with its foot. You can see it carefully poke the electric wires, making sure it's safe. And once it confirms there's no danger, it confidently steps on the fence, pulling the whole thing down before strolling onto the road like it owns the place. This elephant definitely knows the drill. Maybe it's had a shock or two before and learned its lesson. Smart move, right? Looks like this big guy's figured out how to play it safe. There's no denying the raw power of nature, and one of its most unpredictable and silent weapons is lightning. In just a split second, it can unleash unimaginable force. In this next clip, you'll see firsthand just how devastating a lightning strike can be.
I got struck by lightning.
Oh, there comes a limb now.
Oh, crap.
Wow.
What you're looking at isn't some vision from the depths of hell. This tree was hit by lightning, and the aftermath is jaw-dropping. In the video, you can see the tree absolutely obliterated, burning from the inside out. It's like the core of the tree has become an inferno, with flames licking up from within. The whole thing is slowly collapsing, and the driver recording it is understandably stunned. It's both eerie and mesmerizing, right? Seeing something as simple as a tree turn into a glowing firestorm really shows the raw power of nature. The charred, beaten-up look of the tree almost gives it a sense of mystery, as if it's a relic of something far more sinister. Christianity teaches that one day, Jesus will return to earth, though no one knows exactly when that day will come. But this next clip might just show a woman who received a divine hint straight from God himself. This video was captured by a woman driving past a field when she noticed a cross on a distant hill. Now, here's where it gets seriously strange. Right as she spots the cross, her phone, all on its own, switches the song to one called Revelation, with lyrics saying, "I feel it coming. Get ready." The song was all about revelation, and when you pair that with the sight of the cross, it's like the universe, or maybe God himself, was sending a message. Everything lined up so perfectly that it really feels like some divine connection. People on TikTok have been freaking out, saying this is an actual sign from above. And honestly, if I ever saw a sign, this would definitely be it. Most of us, when spotting a wild animal like a bear on the roadside, would either drive past it or maybe stop to snap a few pictures from a safe distance. But this guy from Russia, he did the unthinkable. This next clip comes straight from Russia, where we witness a man obliterating the thin line between bravery and pure stupidity. The video, recorded by a driver, shows a man on the roadside trying to hand feed a massive bear. Yes, you heard that right. He's holding something in his hand, calmly offering it to the bear, which looks anything but calm. The bear suddenly charges at him, enraged, and the man barely scrambles onto the top of his car just in the nick of time. You'd think that was enough to stop him. But nope, After the bear retreats, this guy climbs back down and tries feeding it again. The bear, now totally confused by whatever is happening, hesitates, unsure whether to take the bait or not. The video ends there, leaving us all wondering, was this man offering his own hand as dessert? Because judging by the bear's reaction, it didn't seem too interested in whatever snack he had. India is known for its majestic wildcats, and there have been countless reports of these powerful predators getting a little too close to village life. But the next video is about to show you one of these wild cats caught up in a problem straight out of a cartoon. Poor panther. This clip comes from Rajasthan, India, where villagers stumbled upon a panther in a hilariously unfortunate situation. In the video, you can see the panther wandering around with a large metal pot completely stuck on its head. Now, this pot looks like one of those typically used by villagers for storing food or water. It seems like this curious cat was just trying to score a snack, or maybe some water, and ended up getting its head jammed inside. The result? This poor panther is now totally blind to the world, stumbling around and reacting to the overwhelming sounds of people gathered around. Instead of jumping in to help, though the villagers are, well, kind of just posing for pictures, like it's a photo op. Honestly, I can't help but feel for this panther. Hopefully someone, or maybe the local authorities, eventually stepped in to rescue this big cat from its ridiculous predicament. Fingers crossed for a happy ending. We all know that snakes shed their skin, and it's always fascinating to watch. This incredible footage comes from Reddit, showcasing an amazing natural phenomenon involving an African clawed frog. In the video, you'll notice the frog lounging in the water, blissfully at ease, while a thin layer of skin floats gracefully above it. It almost looks like a plastic sheet, complete with little legs, drifting like some strange aquatic ghost. Meanwhile, our froggy friend seems totally chill, enjoying whatever else is happening around it. After doing a bit of digging, I found out that this little guy is in the middle of shedding its skin. It's fascinating to see how the process unfolds. Once the frog finally sheds its skin, it emerges looking like an albino wonder, highlighting its vibrant and delicate features. Nature never ceases to amaze, doesn't it? Sheds are a vital part of any living society. Not only do they shield you from the scorching sun and pouring rain, but they also protect you from the relentless bullets falling from the sky. This next video comes from Jos, Nigeria, and it showcases a truly ferocious hailstorm in action. You can see hailstones pelting down like bullets, relentlessly striking the roof of a house with astonishing force. The sheer sound of those collisions is enough to send chills down your spine. Now, just imagine if someone were caught outside without any shelter. What a nightmare that would be. This kind of weather can be disastrous, wreaking havoc on cars parked outside, endangering stray animals, and affecting people living in makeshift camps. It's a stark reminder of nature's raw power. Definitely not something you want to experience firsthand. There's a fascinating belief that giants once roamed the earth in ancient times, but today concrete evidence is scarce, except for the mysterious footprint at Adam's Peak in Sri Lanka.
Beautiful. Look at this. There's the, you know, when you, there's the big toe, and the other 4 toes down to the small toe, down to the heel.
This next video was recorded by an adventurer exploring Adams Peak, revealing exactly why this place is so famous. As he climbs the peak, he reaches a dramatic cliff wall and points out something extraordinary. As he gets closer, we see a massive hollow footprint embedded in the rock. It's gigantic. The adventurer explains that this footprint looks remarkably authentic, with the stone displaced just like it would be if someone had stepped into soft mud. Known as Sri Pada, which means sacred foot, this footprint measures a staggering 67 inches long and 18 inches wide. I mean, talk about real proof of giants. Here's the million-dollar question. Why is there only one footprint? It leaves you pondering the mysteries of the past. A police officer was on his routine patrol when he spotted something incredibly strange in a car, prompting him to pull it over. But now they're left scratching their heads about whether to issue a ticket or not. What you just saw isn't from an animated movie. It's a real clip. This footage comes from a news channel in Nebraska, showcasing a truly unusual passenger riding shotgun. In the video, you can see a driver cruising down the road with a massive bull sitting in the passenger seat. The car is practically half cut to accommodate this enormous beast, and it all looks hilarious, until you catch sight of those colossal horns, which give you chills. This big fella is named Howdy Doody, and he and his owner seem to enjoy their joyrides down the road together. But now the police officers are utterly confused. Should they give this man a ticket for transporting a bull like that? Or just let it slide? What do you say? This video comes from a hiker who was out in the wilderness, initially thinking that a bear was stalking him. Concerned about his safety, he began recording the situation. However, when he zoomed in and focused on what he believed to be the bear, he discovered something entirely different. The creature in question wasn't a bear at all. It was a strange hybrid, appearing to be a combination of a humanoid and an ape. This peculiar being stood motionless, fixating a lifeless gaze upon the hiker. What made this encounter even creepier was the hiker's isolation. He was all alone in the wilderness, and had the creature decided to pursue him, he would have been defenseless. The creature's entire body was covered in dark black fur, resembling the description often associated with Bigfoot. However, the motives behind this Bigfoot-like creature's interest in the hiker remained a mystery. This trail camera footage dates back to 2016 and is believed to capture a sighting of Bigfoot. In the video, a hairy creature stands in front of the trail camera, completely blocking the frame. It displays long brown fur covering its body and seems to be interacting with the trail camera. Some individuals seeing this video have suggested that this might have been an orangutan or a bear, driven by curiosity about the camera. While orangutans do have a similar brownish coat, there are notable differences. So if it is a known animal, it will most likely be a bear. The creature in the video has notably bulky and wide limbs. It could be the hind legs of a bear standing up, although it still looks a bit strange to be that. So, what could it have been? Some speculate that this might indeed be a legendary Bigfoot, a creature often associated with such sightings due to its elusive nature and large, hairy appearance. However, as with many cryptid sightings, conclusive evidence remains elusive. In this video, a group of individuals initially focuses their camera on something unusual in a distant field from their car. As the camera zooms in, it becomes evident that the object in question is not a stationary item like a stone, but rather a living creature in motion. This creature appears entirely black and is covered in a thick coat of black hair all over its body. What stands out is its massive body frame and the way it walks, resembling a humanoid figure. The intriguing aspect is that this sighting occurs in a remote location, with a jungle situated above the field. This suggests the possibility that the creature might have emerged from the jungle and is now returning to it. All the characteristics and behavior seen in the video align with the typical descriptions associated with Bigfoot sightings. It's worth noting that Bigfoot legends usually depict the creature residing deep within forests, far from human civilization. However, this video challenges that assumption, suggesting that Bigfoot could potentially also can venture into open fields. Often, encounters with ghosts and spirits are commonly associated with security or trail cameras. However, have you ever witnessed a spirit during a live TV show? In a video featuring English television presenter and journalist James May hosting a program called Our Man in Italy, something intriguing was noticed by viewers in the background. While James May was sharing his forest travel experiences with the camera, an eerie humanoid transparent figure seemed to materialize out of nowhere and then dissolve in the same manner. Additionally, in another scene, this same figure appeared and then promptly disappeared. Initially, many viewers presumed it to be an editing mistake, but a significant number of them are convinced that what they witnessed was an authentic sighting of a ghost or spirit during a live television broadcast. The final verdict, however, I leave it for you, the viewers, to decide. This video comes from Indonesia, where the camera captures a scene atop a hill. In this footage, a figure emerges on the edge and appears to be moving casually. We can also hear the unease in the local people who are standing by, witnessing this unsettling sight. Locals mentioned that they've encountered this mysterious creature on multiple occasions during the night, but this was the first daytime sighting, and it was on the hill's edge. From a distance, this creature resembles a massive, dark-skinned being, and it seems to lack legs, appearing to slide its lower body along the ground. Regrettably, the video is quite brief, and the creature disappears after a few seconds. Consequently, we can't determine the precise identity of the creature we observed. Nevertheless, whatever it may be, it is undeniably eerie. An eagerly anticipated family forest outing turned nightmarish when they were startled by a distant, menacing growl. Fear and distress gripped the woman and children, while the man behind the camera tried to calm them and identify the source of the growl. In the midst of this tension, the man briefly captured a dark figure emerging from nearby bushes before it vanished. His own fearful yell prompted a terrifying growl from the creature, which then began to move. The children, seeing this, cried in fear. However, the father deserves credit for comforting his terrified children. The creature bore a resemblance to Bigfoot upon closer inspection, a massive humanoid figure. Whether it was truly Bigfoot or not, its hostile and agitated demeanor, especially in such close proximity to the family, was deeply unsettling. Witnessing animal rescues is among the most heartwarming moments, and we owe our gratitude to these individuals for allowing us to experience such heartwarming scenes. In the video, we see a deer trapped in a snowy landscape, seemingly frozen in place. The poor creature appears entirely immobile, with its body rigid and unable to move. Our heroes step in to rescue the deer, starting by providing it with warmth to ease its frozen state. They then carefully clear away the snow that has accumulated around its mouth and nose, ensuring it can breathe freely once more. Once the snow is removed, the deer regains its freedom and, after a while, finds its ability to walk again. Our heroes release it back into the wild. While this video is heartwarming, it's impossible to ignore the fear and distress that the deer must have felt while trapped in that frozen environment, with snow covering its face and making it difficult to breathe and see. This video hails from St. Elmo, Illinois, dating back to 2012. In this footage, a hiker is seen pointing towards a distant object. Over yonder, a tall and massive creature stands motionless. This creature is wrapped in a black covering and possesses a body shape resembling that of a human, complete with limbs and a head. What truly stands out about this creature is its remarkable height. If you take a moment to observe the trees in its vicinity, you'll notice that in comparison, this creature appears to be around 12 to 14 feet tall. Towards the end of the video, this Bigfoot-like creature seems to be startled by something and then abruptly takes off running. Interestingly, the St. Elmo area in Illinois has reported numerous sightings of similar Bigfoot-like creatures. What are your thoughts on this formidable being? You might have come across numerous Bigfoot sightings in forests and hills, but this video presents a rather unique scenario. A Bigfoot-like figure leisurely relaxing and bathing in a lake on Vancouver Island. In the footage, we see a dark figure with a head that appears entirely black, and its shape doesn't quite match what we typically associate with known creatures. While it's possible to consider it might be a gorilla indulging in a daily bath, some notable distinctions come into play. Gorillas are known for their massive shoulders, and this figure doesn't quite exhibit that feature. Moreover, apes and gorillas are not proficient swimmers, and according to the hiker who captured this video, the pond or lake appeared to be quite deep. So, if it wasn't a gorilla or an ape, the question arises, could it possibly be a Bigfoot taking a casual dip in the lake? What do you think? A TikTok user posted a video claiming to have captured an unusual occurrence akin to a glitch in the Matrix. In the video, we see the perspective from a car window showing a bush seemingly engulfed in flames. However, when the camera is moved to the side to record the bush without the car glass window, there is no sign of fire. Yet, when the camera is directed back through the car window, the bush appears to be ablaze once more. The person behind the camera repeats this a few times to rule out any potential camera malfunction or error. This sight is genuinely confusing, and it gives the impression of some sort of mystical or magical phenomenon. Nevertheless, if there is a plausible scientific explanation for this peculiar occurrence, it would be valuable to share it with others in the comments section. This trail camera footage captures an exceptionally large and striking Bigfoot lurking in the woods. In the video, we can see a massive, dark figure moving subtly among the trees. This creature appears to have the typical black fur associated with Bigfoot, and its enormous size is quite striking. A straightforward comparison with a nearby tree highlights the creature's immense size. Just look at the tree's width compared to the sheer bulk of this giant being. Unfortunately, despite the video having relatively good picture quality compared to other Bigfoot sightings, it's still challenging to make out any details of the creature's face due to the darkness in the area where it is located. Nonetheless, the knowledge that such an enormous creature exists is itself a rather unsettling experience. I really enjoy long drives at night, but when I come across footage like this, it makes me reconsider heading out for those nighttime drives. In this video, filmed from inside a car, we spot a sizable object or creature positioned in the middle of the road at some distance ahead. Observing this, the driver slows down the car, both to get a better look at it and to allow this supposed creature some time to move away from the road. However, this enigmatic presence remains stationary and doesn't show any signs of movement. It almost seems as if this entity was simply waiting there for the car to pass by. The video ends before the car actually reaches this mysterious figure, but it leaves me wondering about what might have unfolded as they approached it. This video captures an eerie and unsettling sight in the nighttime. Something peculiar and creepy, situated on a distant tree, The person behind the camera describes this entity as appearing rather aggressive and even causing the tree to shake slightly. This strange creature possesses a highly unusual body shape and an atypical coloration that doesn't resemble any known living beings. It presents a curious combination of colors, featuring half white and half black, with a hint of brownish hue. The camera person notes that this mysterious entity repeatedly approaches and perches on the tree. However, throughout the entire video, this enigmatic figure remains completely still and stationary. It's possible that it may have become aware of someone recording it and decided to stay still in an attempt to conceal itself. Alternatively, it could be entirely unaware of the person filming it. This video is more amusing and lighthearted than unsettling or scary. It features cunning parents who decide to play a prank on their children during a forest lake adventure. While the kids are enjoying their outdoor escapade, one of them, riding a quad bike, spots something in the woods and in pure fear runs towards their parents, claiming to have seen a Bigfoot in the forest. As the child reaches their parents, the supposed Bigfoot emerges from the forest and starts running towards them. In response, another child also rushes to the parents in fear. However, when the kids notice their parents laughing, they realize it was all a prank, and it turns out their Bigfoot was actually their uncle dressed up in a Bigfoot costume, tricking them for fun. What's even more amusing is that the dog in the video doesn't seem to be too concerned, as it apparently already knew that there was no real threat from a Bigfoot. A video recently surfaced on Facebook, shared by a woman who captioned it as "Massive Bigfoots spotted in my backyard." In the video, we can observe a wintry landscape with a mysterious dark figure resembling Bigfoot lurking and moving along the edge of a forest. This enigmatic creature appears to be of substantial size, and its eerie presence is undeniably unsettling. As it traverses the forest's edge, it eventually disappears from sight. The lady who uploaded this video also made the claim that this shadowy figure has occasionally been following her through the woods, though it was often elusive and not clearly visible during those encounters. This recent sighting marks the first time she has come face to face with this creature, leaving her profoundly shaken and fearful. Considering the circumstances, what course of action should this woman take? Should she promptly vacate her property, or should she attempt to confront this imposing creature? In recent times, it appears that even spirits and ghosts are trying to stay fit and healthy to instill fear in today's generation. In a recent video, we witness a rather unusual occurrence. An exercise machine in an open gym facility is seen moving on its own. Strikingly, there is no one seated on the machine, yet it continues to move as if someone is actively exercising on it. While it's true that such equipment can exhibit minor movements due to various factors, what sets this incident apart is the sustained and uninterrupted motion that persists for a solid 30 seconds in the video. What makes this occurrence even more intriguing is the fact that the force required to move the machine fluidly in this manner seems beyond the influence of common factors like wind or vibrations. This raises the question, could it possibly be a spirit engaging in a workout routine, perhaps honing its spectral strength to further terrify the locals? The depths of both the deep ocean and dense forests have been known to hold mysterious and utterly spine-tingling occurrences. Such an unusual incident was recently captured by a drone camera as it glided above a forest. In the video, we are presented with an overhead view of a densely wooded area, thick with towering trees. Upon closer examination, one particular tree grabs our attention as it violently shakes and appears to be in motion, colliding with its neighboring trees. The drone camera then pans to survey the surrounding trees, revealing that they remain completely still and undisturbed, with no sign of any prevailing wind. Returning its focus to the peculiar tree, it becomes evident that not only is it moving, but it's doing so at a surprisingly swift pace, now noticeably displaced from its original position. Some viewers who have witnessed this enigmatic footage have speculated that it could be a heavy-duty harvester in action, felling and transporting the tree. However, a noteworthy point is that harvesters typically transport trees horizontally, making the vertical movement of this particular tree phenomenon all the more puzzling. Many ancient stories suggest the existence of Greek giants in the past, often based on the discovery of large bones. However, these giants are long gone, and you won't find them in today's world. Or will you? There's a video from an unknown part of a Canadian mountain where a man is recording something unusual. In the video, the man tells his friend that there's a person standing on top of the mountain, but his friend doesn't believe him.
There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
The figure on the mountain is standing very still, and when you look at it from a distance, it appears quite large. Some people might argue that it could be the top of a tree, but the strange thing is that it's all alone. If it were a treetop, you'd expect to see more like it nearby. So what could it be? Was it really a giant that was spotted? You can find thousands of Bigfoot sighting videos on the internet, but most of them are of low quality or taken from a long way off. However, this particular footage was captured in high quality by a hiker who was out recording the beauty of nature. While enjoying the forest sounds, the hiker suddenly heard heavy footsteps approaching from ahead. The video begins with a massive black figure moving closer to the camera. As it comes nearer, we can see that it's covered in thick black fur, and its body and arms are exceptionally large. Eventually, the creature gets very close to the camera, and we get a good look at its eerie and unsettling face. Its facial features seem to be a strange mix of a gorilla and a human, and it appears to be quite angry. Of course, there's always the possibility that this video could be a fake, with someone in a Bigfoot suit. However, the size of the creature is way too huge for a human. Up close, it looks like this Bigfoot-like creature could be around 10 to 12 feet tall. Whatever it was, thank God it didn't notice the hiker. This video comes from Siberia's Baikal Lake, where a group of explorers stumbled upon something truly bizarre trapped in the ice. The video begins as the group's device signals that something is buried beneath the frozen surface.
I got a very strong signal.
They start clearing away the snow with their hands, and as they do, they catch a glimpse of something white encased in the frozen lake. Their curiosity piqued. They continue removing more snow, and as the surface becomes clearer, they reveal what appears to be a face trapped within the ice. However, this is no ordinary face. It bears a striking resemblance to a yeti. Its eyes are hollow, and its facial features are remarkably large. The creature even has pale white skin. In light of this discovery, my advice to the group would be to cover the snow back up, and it's better to leave the creature undisturbed inside the ice. This video surfaced on TikTok and was subsequently reposted. The original uploader claimed to have captured a real sighting of a yeti. The video unfolds with two friends venturing into a forest at night, for God knows why. As they record their exploration, they start hearing rumbling sounds coming from the bushes, and when they turn the camera towards the noise, there's no one to be seen. Moments later, they hear branches cracking again, and the man aims the camera in that direction. But once more, there's nothing there. paranoia starts to take hold, and they become visibly scared. Then, as the uploader pans the camera around to capture the source of the sound, he unexpectedly spots a figure standing at a distance. He zooms in on the figure, revealing a disturbing and spine-chilling sight. Creature staring directly at the camera with lifeless, unsettling eyes. As the friends notice the creature, it abruptly flees. It was a genuinely eerie encounter, as the expressionless look on the creature's face was incredibly strange, but it was undeniably terrifying. Spotting a monstrous creature like Bigfoot is scary on its own, but when you witness them lurking and darting from the darkness, it takes the creepiness and fear to a whole new level. This video was captured by a man who claims that something was trailing him while he was returning home from a 24/7 store at 1 a.m. In the video, we can clearly see two glowing eyes peering out from the darkness, and they seem to be looking directly at the camera. The person who uploaded the video mentions that these eyes followed him, and he's not sure what to do about it.
It's staring at me. It followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I don't know what to do.
Also, these eyes appear to be at a considerable height, ruling out the possibility of them belonging to most forest animals. So, what could this staring entity be? Perhaps the man recording should try offering it an apple to see if he can make a new friend out of it. This video originates from a feeder camera located near the California border. In the footage, we can observe an ape or gorilla-like creature gazing directly at the camera, or possibly trying to access some food from the feeder. After a few moments of this camera stare, the creature moves away. What makes this encounter peculiar is that the camera was positioned about 12 feet above the feeder, yet the ape-like creature appears remarkably close to it. This suggests that the creature must have been at least 10 feet in height. Additionally, the feeder was situated below, and the creature was looking upward, indicating that it was initially aware of the camera's presence. Opinions on this video vary. Some viewers believe it could be a sighting of the legendary Bigfoot, while others speculate that it might simply be a large-sized ape. What are your thoughts on the matter? I don't know what it is with the night hikers, as they always find themselves in creepy forest stalking encounters. This video comes from a night hiker who was out to capture some footage of hedgehogs or foxes in the forest. While scanning the area, he suddenly notices something massive lurking in the distance, seemingly watching him. As he turns the camera towards this figure, it appears to be moving away at first, but then he realizes that it's not retreating. It's actually coming closer, heading straight toward him. Frightened by this, the hiker runs for his life and manages to escape. In a close-up shot, we can see that the figure is a huge black creature with a humanoid appearance. Its body is broad and covered in a black coat. The most spine-chilling detail is its face, which seems to have an unnaturally wide open mouth. The entire encounter was undeniably eerie and quite bizarre. This video, posted on Facebook, is quite old and appears in black and white. The uploader mentioned that it was filmed by his grandfather using black and white camera. In the video, we can see a view of a jungle, and right in front of us, there's a creature resembling Bigfoot walking. This creature is enormous and moves in a posture that's eerily similar to a human. While it might resemble a gorilla or an ape, its sheer size is what makes it truly terrifying. The creature appears to be strolling casually, going about its own business. This footage was captured from a hidden vantage point, and it tracks the creature until it disappears into the woods. One can only imagine that the uploader's grandfather may have known a lot more about these creatures based on this remarkable video alone. The sky is undeniably fascinating, where we occasionally spot unidentified flying objects, strange phenomena, and even mysterious creatures. In this video, we witness one such encounter. It starts with a view of an airplane soaring through the clear sky, and then something extraordinary happens. An unidentified object or entity approaches from the front and swiftly darts past the plane, narrowly avoiding a collision. Upon closer inspection and zooming in on the object, it becomes clear that this is unlike any bird or familiar flying creature we know. It has a plate-like lower body with a round top, resembling a housing for a pilot, much like what we associate with a typical UFO. Moreover, the object exhibits remarkable speed, and the fact that it came so close to the plane adds an element of fear and terror to the encounter. As for what this flying object might be, it remains a mystery, and interpretations can vary widely. What are your thoughts on it? Ever heard the saying, "If it's brown, lay down"? If not, this video will demonstrate its meaning. The footage is from a group of friends on a forest adventure near a river. While enjoying the scenery, they spot a brown bear in the distance. The bear catches sight of them and immediately starts charging toward the group. However, these friends seem well versed in handling such situations, so they follow the advice to stay calm and lay down as the bear approaches. Executing this tactic, the friends remain composed, and the bear, upon reaching close proximity, halts its charge and eventually leaves. This video highlights a valuable tip that staying calm and laying down can be an effective response if a brown bear approaches. However, the intriguing question arising from this in my mind is whether the same approach would work for encounters with other types of bears. This video captures a scene on a street where two cars are parked. In between them, a brown bear grabs attention as it attempts to peer inside one of the cars. Standing on its hind legs, the bear looks through the open front window of the car. Unexpectedly, the bear showcases impressive parkour skills, leaping inside through the window and fully exploring the car's interior. Bears often engage in such behavior when they are on the lookout for food inside vehicles. The video serves as a reminder for car owners to take precautions by locking their car doors and rolling up the windows when parked. Neglecting to do so might result in an unwelcome surprise for car owners, as bears can be quite determined when it comes to investigating potential food sources. This video is from an abandoned Essex County hospital, where a group of explorers is venturing through its eerie corridors. As the camera pans around, we get a glimpse of the debris-laden floor, and the overall atmosphere of the place seems quite spooky. The explorer playfully acknowledges the peculiar nature of exploring such abandoned locations. However, the tone shifts abruptly when he notices something off camera. Bringing attention to the mysterious presence, the camera then unveils a hallway. At the far end stands a creepy figure, crouched on all fours. The dim lighting makes it hard to make out specific details, but the figure gives the impression of a humanoid with spider-like features, using both hands and hind legs. Upon spotting the camera, this frightening creature charges straight towards the explorers, prompting them to run. The peculiar appearance raises questions and sparks curiosity about the nature of this mysterious creature within the confines of the abandoned hospital. For more captivating content like this, click here. You may have come across many Bigfoot sightings captured on camera, but have you ever seen a Bigfoot captured by people and kept in a cage? A spooky video has surfaced on Reddit, showing a cage placed in the middle of a forest with a massive creature inside it. Inside the cage, there are cameras that provide a clear view of this legendary creature's imposing presence. It emits a rather terrifying growl, and is covered in a thick coat of fur. In addition to the creature, you can also see other people around the cage, recording this Bigfoot-like figure. The Bigfoot in the video appears to be very aggressive, and clearly doesn't like being inside the cage. It's desperately trying to break free, and its immense power is causing the entire cage to shake. If this video is indeed genuine, it raises the possibility that we might see these mighty creatures in our zoos in the years to come. A man had a strange problem in his apartment. His food kept disappearing, and he suspected his girlfriend, but she denied it.
So I kept on finding food missing in my apartment that I knew I wasn't eating. I confronted my girlfriend who lives with me about it, and she claimed she wasn't eating it. So I decided I'm going to set up a video camera and I'm going to catch her. This is what I found.
To catch her in the act, the man set up a security camera. What he discovered was truly terrifying. He placed the camera in his kitchen and went to sleep. After about 2 hours, there was some movement above the doorway, and then a person came out of it. This person stepped onto a table, and it turned out to be a messy-looking girl who seemed like she might be homeless. The girl acted like she owned the place, confidently opening the fridge and moving around as if it were her home. It appeared that she had been doing this for a while. After snacking from the fridge, the girl casually sat on the sofa and watched TV. Then, she went back to the fridge, but heard the homeowner approaching, so she hid behind the sofa. When the homeowner came in for a drink of water and left again, she emerged, had more food, and then disappeared back to where she came from. The man woke up and went about his daily routine, completely unaware of this creepy encounter. After watching the video and seeing how comfortable the lady was, it made the homeowner wonder if she had been living with them unnoticed for a long time. In another video, Bigfoot may have been spotted yet again in Yellowstone National Park, this time in the company of some bison, which are not aware of the strange activities in their presence. The blurry video, which was posted by YouTube user Mary Greeley and later targeted by Bigfoot hunters, claims to show not one, but 4 Bigfoots stumbling through the woods. Well, if we analyze the video closely, despite it being hazy, the Bigfoots can be seen portrayed in a shadowy form. The 4 of them are initially visible, but for an unknown reason, 3 of them vanished behind a tree. From the distance we see them, we can certainly state that they must be huge individuals, something you would not want to meet face to face, especially since it seems to travel in a pack. These things would tear you apart by sheer force. But if there are so many of Bigfoot out there, how come we have not caught one by now? This next video involves a place we would expect to be haunted, a castle. Every castle has its own dark story, and maybe this too, one which lives to this day. This is a drone footage of an English castle, and at first it appears to be a normal recording of a castle, but things get weird the more and closer you look. As seen in the video, a translucent figure seems to be walking in the cabin camera fault, as we clearly see its shape and form, which resembles a human ghost. Castles are known to be a breeding ground for hauntings due to their frequently bloody past, so a sight like this is no wonder. Could this be evidence that we leave together with ghosts, in the same space, but we just can't notice? And what could their intentions be? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Prepare to be terrified by this eerie video that defies explanation. A beekeeper was checking on his bees when spotted a perplexing sight. A goat-like creature emerges slowly from dense vegetation. The physique of this animal is peculiar as it has strange curled horns. As he looks closer, the observer is struck by a chilling realization. This is no ordinary animal and is not probably a goat. Every quiver of its head, every slight change of its body contributes to the unsettling mood. This could probably be some kind of prank, or eerily, maybe a creature of the unknown. In this video, a man is recording a bright light in the night sky, but it's not just the light. Around it, in the shape of a triangle, 3 lights seem to turn on and off periodically, as if following a pattern. Even due to the darkness, the lights can be seen in the sky. It seems to be something suspended in the air. Could this maybe be a UFO? It's interesting to note that there have been numerous reports of sightings in recent years. In fact, a new declassified US government report on UFO sightings has revealed hundreds of new cases. The US National Intelligence Office is now aware of 510 reported sightings. While many of these sightings can be attributed to human origins, more than 100 of the encounters remain unexplained. Could this one be yet another one that needs our attention? A video taken by a Mexican woman in an unnamed cemetery in Brazil has gone viral, featuring a terrifying vampire baby doll that appears to follow you with its eyes. The doll, which is dressed in all white and had a bottle of what looks like blood next to it, has racked up hundreds of thousands of views online and has even appeared in Mexican media. People are likening it to the demon doll Chucky from Child's Play, but many feel that this doll is even scarier. Some are saying that the doll must be possessed by the devil, while others believe it to be an advanced-made doll. However, the video is so unnerving that many viewers are left unsure of what to believe. One thing is for sure, this creepy vampire doll has captured the attention of people all over the world. This guy was exploring an abandoned building at night when he has a very scary encounter. As he was approaching one room, he became hesitant for a moment before opening the door. The doors creaked open, revealing a small, cramped space. In the corner, huddled and naked, was a creature that looked like a man. Its appearance was just wild, and its skin was pale and clammy. He turned and ran, his heart pounding in his chest. To me, I think this could be the infamous skinwalker that always appears rather naked. Could it have also been some person in distress, needing assistance? What do you think? The action in this clip is short but rather fascinating. It's filmed at night, so you have to concentrate to catch what is going on. You can see the bobcat sneaking up on the unsuspecting coyote and then crouches in the long grass. Only its shining eyes are visible. The coyote trots into the field, completely oblivious to the waiting feline. When the bobcat strikes, it launches itself at the coyote, who lets out an unworldly scream. The coyote leaves pretty quickly and can be seen farther in the field, as if it is trying to comprehend what had happened. This next video shows an animal that looks a lot like the chupacabra. For those who don't know what this is, the chupacabra, or chupacabras, is a legendary creature in the folklore of parts of the Americas. The name comes from the animal's reported vampirism. The chupacabra is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock, including goats. Physical descriptions of the creature vary. In Puerto Rico and in Latin America, it is generally described as a heavy creature, reptilian and alien, roughly the size of a small bear, and with a row of spines reaching from the neck to the base of the tail. Many people online claim this to be one such creature. But to be honest, I am not sure. Rather, a dog with a skin condition, mistaken to be a cryptid. The ocean holds many secrets, but none as mysterious as the sighting in this footage taken in Israel. A seemingly ordinary video of waves crashing against rocks turns into a haunting experience when a bizarre creature is spotted. The camera is fixated on a rock, and at first, it appears to be a seal. The two men filming saying that to themselves, but on closer inspection, it is something far more unusual. Suddenly, the strange figure turns around, revealing a pale, blurry face, who then crawls towards the back of the rock before jumping into the sea. The two men are astonished by what they witnessed, realizing it was not a seal. If we analyze the video more closely, the mysterious figure does seem to take the form of a mermaid, a mythological creature of the sea. But could this really be a mermaid? Or is it merely a CGI effect? The possibility of this being an optical illusion is not ruled out, but the thought of a mermaid existing in our world is enough to send shivers down one's spine. The ocean is vast and full of secrets, and who knows what else may be lurking in its depths. This trail camera video is rather fascinating. The video shows two wild piglets suckling on their mother. The mama boar is heard grunting while lying on the ground as the piglets are having a feast. Poor mama boar seems to be really tired, perhaps from caring all day for these little guys. It is a remarkable and a rare footage not many trail camera get to catch. This video is from the western woods of Košice, Slovakia. A hiker set off on a 2-week trip through the expansive woods of Košice, suddenly feeling an eerie presence, as if someone or something was tracking his every step. In the video, we can see the hiker walking through the forest while recording his surroundings. After a while, he encounters a large branch-made structure, resembling a wooden hut in the distance. Curious, he approaches the hut and notices signs of habitation, including a roof and an entrance. While recording inside the hut, a strong growling noise comes from outside, causing fear to grip him. He quickly starts running and finds himself in a dense part of the forest. As he walks further, the hiker once again hears the rustling of trees nearby. The hiker directs the camera toward the source of the sound, revealing a tall figure shaking the trees intensely. The being locks eyes with the camera, emitting a terrifying noise. The immense size of the being becomes apparent when compared to the nearby trees. This encounter terrifies the hiker, prompting him to flee. After this horrifying encounter, the hiker promised to never venture into those woods again. Could this be the first genuine sighting of a Bigfoot? Or is it something even more terrifying than that? This video comes from a Facebook user who shared their experience of venturing into an area frequently linked with Bigfoot sightings. The video starts with a view of the deep Canadian woods, accompanied by the heavy breathing of the camera person, indicating their unease. As the camera zooms in on the distant trees, something emerges from the woods, briefly appearing before retreating back into the forest. Let's examine this closely. Upon closer inspection, we can see a large figure with a thick black coat covering its body, while it could be mistaken for a gorilla or an ape. The distinct way it walks on 2 legs and its posture set it apart from the capabilities of such animals. Additionally, the considerable size of its legs and body is different from that of an ape or gorilla. With those options ruled out, we're left to consider it was a Bigfoot. Seeing a Bigfoot is terrifying on its own, but being chased by one, it's a scenario even the bravest souls would rather avoid. This video originates from Nanowin Rivers Park, Canada. Initially, the footage reveals a frozen, snowy river with the forest at its edge. Then, the camera captures some animal droppings, probably from a deer or buck, nothing extraordinary. The man continues his walk, and after a few steps, he spots a lengthy black hair on the ground. Picking it up, he realizes how thick it is. Soon, the man reaches the forest's edge. Venturing into the woods, the man records the environment and the surrounding trees. After a while, distant sounds catch his attention. Panning the camera towards the source, we catch a glimpse of a fur-covered creature walking casually. However, upon noticing the camera, the creature's demeanor shifts from casual to aggressive. It sprints towards the camera, making the cameraman make a quick decision any sensible person would make. He bolts for his life. Watching this, my advice to you is simple. No footage is worth more than your safety. If you ever encounter such a creature, just run. Encountering a real-life mermaid may be the dream of many kids, but the reality might not match expectations. This video captures a mysterious scene on an unidentified shore where scientists covered in protective gear gather around an unknown aquatic creature. Two individuals are also seen standing next to a stretcher. Scientists then carefully lift the creature onto a stretcher, revealing its fish-like tail. However, the atmosphere takes an eerie turn when the scientists move, and we can see the creature's human-like upper body attached to the tail. The being resembles a mermaid, and the scientists transport it away on the stretcher. A number of confusing aspects arise from this scene. Why are scientists wearing such protective suits? Why have they sealed off the area? And why the secrecy surrounding the mermaid-like creature? The questions remain unanswered. In this video, shared by a TikTok user, he explains that he began recording when he heard a noise outside his house. The video shows the man using a flashlight to have a look at nearby bushes, trying to figure out what caused the sound. Suddenly, a rock is thrown from behind him. Startled, the man turns to the direction of the rock and spots two glowing eyes in the distance, lurking in the darkness. Frightened, he quickly leaves the area. The eyes appear very alive and eerie, and they seem to be staring directly at the camera. While it could be an animal, the fact that someone threw a rock raises suspicions. Animals don't usually do that. This video was captured by a wildlife camera intended to record the activities inside a bird's nest. However, it ended up capturing something quite different. While the camera was focused on the nest and the young birds, it also captured a mysterious presence. This dark figure was spotted moving beneath the nest. The video's focus remains on the nest, making it hard to make out the details of this entity. Yet, upon zooming in, we can observe that the creature is entirely black and seems to have a human-like shape, particularly in how it moves. Some viewers of this clip suggest it might be an ape, which is a possibility. However, there are also those who believe it could be the legendary Bigfoot. What's your take on this? The homeowner noticed strange noises coming from the back of the house, which were captured by the security camera. The video captures a chilling, distant scream of a creature. Later, another camera records the same eerie scream coming from the darkness. It could very well be a mountain lion or some other wild animal. But what's unsettling for me is the terrifying rumbling within those screams. The feeling they evoke is like the calls of a skinwalker. Skinwalkers are creatures that only emerge at night and are known for making such cries to communicate with their companions. Whether it was a mountain lion or a skinwalker, it's best for the homeowner to avoid any encounters especially during the night. Trail cameras are truly fascinating, as they capture animal encounters that would otherwise remain unseen. Yet this particular trail camera has captured something truly strange. In the video, we can see a dense forest. After a few moments, a strange humanoid figure materializes seemingly out of thin air, and then swiftly disappears behind a tree. The video's quality is low, making it hard for me to make out the figure's features, but its shape appears human-like. Also, the way it walks also resembles human movement, but its towering height stands out against the surrounding trees. According to the person who uploaded the video, this forest is rumored to be haunted by the spirit of a hunter who once roamed these grounds. Could this be the hunter's spirit revisiting his territory? Or could it be something far more unsettling? As a hiker ventured deeper into the forest, a mysterious sight halted him in his tracks. Heart racing, he fumbled for his phone, ready to capture the uncanny scene that lay directly in front of him. The camera's focus shifts, revealing an enigmatic figure with an oddly shaped head, gazing downward as if sensing something beyond the trees. But what is weird is that this creature seems to walk on two and looking around in a human-like manner. Yet we can clearly see it's not human. Suddenly, it straightened, revealing its towering stature and massive hunched back that set it apart from any known creature. Emerging from the trees, it paused, its watchful eyes scanning the surroundings once more before its gaze slowly turned, locking onto the direction of the hiker. Time seemed to stand still as the hiker's fear clashed with his determination to remain hidden. The creature's intense gaze held him captive, his heart pounding in his chest. Then, as if breaking a spell, the creature averted its gaze and continued its silent journey through the woods, disappearing from view and bringing the video to an eerie close. While much about the video remains a mystery, the creature's behavior hints at a deliberate avoidance of being seen, shrouding itself in an air of unsettling secrecy. Residents of a small town in Asia reported that at night, they heard sounds coming from an abandoned cave a few kilometers away from the town. So one night, they decided to search the cave to find out the cause of the strange sound. But upon entering the cave, they found something very disturbing. They caught sight of a woman on all four limbs, and as they approached her, she began making her way towards them in a very frightening manner. Her face was pale white, and her eyes were very chilling to look into. But the most terrifying thing was the way she crawled towards them. The people were terrified and confused about what the old lady was doing in the abandoned cave, why she was on her four limbs, and if she was the one making the strange sounds they heard at night. This video was uploaded to TikTok by a biker named Josie Maria. He and his pals decided to go for a bike ride on a dirt road one night. They were having fun cruising along when something really spooky got caught on Josie's camera. In the video, Josie breaks away from the biker in front and takes a different path. But as he turns onto this narrow trail, his bike's light shines on something in the middle of the road. It's quick, like a blink, and you'll miss it moment. But what he saw was super creepy. It looked a lot like a woman wearing a black gown with long brown hair covering her face. And because it was so late at night, some folks might think it could be a ghost. Sure, there might be people saying it was just a tree trunk or something, but the way Jose reacted right away shows he wasn't so sure about that. What do you think? Could it have been something spooky? In a quiet house, a woman was alone with her dog when suddenly the lights went out, leaving everything dark. she was puzzled by the problem and heard a noise outside. Armed with a flashlight and her phone, she went to investigate and found something unexpected. When she looked out of the window, she saw her gate opening and closing on its own, even though there was no wind. She got curious and looked around for an explanation, and that's when she spotted something really scary. With her flashlight, she aimed it towards the gate and saw what seemed like a person in black clothes staring back at her. Imagine being alone in the dark with a strangely dressed person outside your gate. That would give anyone goosebumps. The woman was scared too, but she needed to be sure of what she saw. So she got a brighter flashlight, and when she returned, something weird happened. Instead of the person, she saw a black cat in the same spot. But she was convinced she had seen a person, so she kept looking. And then, on the other side of the gate, she saw the same figure in black clothes. She got really scared and quickly turned off her flashlight. At that moment, she heard 3 loud bangs on her door. The video ends there, and we don't know what happened to the woman that night, but it feels like something you'd see in a scary movie. A bunch of close friends embark on a wild rowing adventure down a turbulent river. The waves are crashing, and the excitement is palpable. One of them grabs his camera, ready to capture the thrills. Little did he know, he'd capture something far beyond thrilling. As the guy in his one-man boat battles against the force of the river, the camera's lens suddenly spots a mysterious movement at the left edge of the frame. From behind a gnarled tree emerges a figure, shrouded in an eerie aura. In that fleeting moment, its massive physique comes into focus. A hulking upper body that exudes an air of intimidation. It's as if the legendary enigma, Bigfoot, has stepped right out of the shadows. The guys, lost in the rush of the adventure, were completely clueless about the extraordinary sight they'd just caught on camera. But imagine their mix of exhilaration and unease when they later watched the recording, realizing that they had unwittingly brushed against something far more mystifying than they could have ever imagined. This video was recorded in Caledonia Street, Scotland. A pair of tourists decided to take a leisurely nighttime stroll down this quiet street. One of them thought it'd be cool to record the adventure on his phone. Little did he know, he was about to capture something way more than he bargained for. In the video, these tourists are walking along, and they come across this old, eerie-looking house. You know, the kind you'd expect to see in a horror movie. They're peering around when all of a sudden, they spot some movement up in a flat's window. Now, this is where things get seriously strange. You see, that house is in a place called Clune Park Estate, and it's got a spooky reputation. It's this rundown, isolated spot that's supposed to be torn down soon. But what happens next shatters the idea that it's abandoned. After catching that movement in the window, they focus on it, and guess what? Someone's peering out from behind the glass, then quickly ducks away. But here's the kicker. This someone isn't like your everyday person. Nope, not at all. This figure's got a head that's all sorts of wrong. Dark patches around the eyes, and get this, something that looks like a horn on its forehead. It's like something out of a nightmare. The video ends with the tourists rushing towards the door, probably wanting to get an explanation for whatever they just witnessed. There are supposed to be 430 flats in that estate, but only 20 people live there. After seeing this video, you'd probably agree that it's not just humans who call that place home. This footage comes from a guy who's been dealing with some freaky stuff going down in his house for a few weeks. So he sets up a camera in the room where most of the weirdness has been happening. And what he captures? It's the stuff of nightmares. He's out having drinks with his buddies when his phone notifies him. It's the camera telling him there's movement in the house. You can bet he's feeling a mix of curiosity and straight up dread as he checks it out. In the video, we're looking at what seems to be a regular storage room. Nothing unusual at first glance. But then something way off starts happening. An object at the back of the room starts shifting, like someone's actually moving it. But here's the kicker. No one should be in the house. When you zoom in, it's like someone or something pokes their head out, stares right into the camera for a brief, heart-stopping second, and then pulls back. Now, that's freaky on its own. But here's what makes it a horror show. This person or thing knew exactly where the camera was. They knew their way around his house. After watching this, I'm willing to bet the homeowner found somewhere else to spend the night, and possibly the rest of the weekend as well. A man and his cat were having a chill time at night at his residence when suddenly he heard something drop in his room closet. Since they were alone in the apartment, he grabbed his phone and began recording. As the video begins, we see the cat standing next to the closet and looking up above like there is something or someone there. Then, out of nowhere, the closet cotton is flung open without an indication as to who or what opened it. This strange phenomenon sends even the cat scampering away as the homeowner stands in confusion about what he just witnessed. But in a bid to find an explanation, the homeowner enters the closet and experiences something frightening.
I don't know what the hell it is. No. Oh, hell no.
During his inspection, a plastic container from a shelf falls to the ground and comes to rest beside his work table. This forces the homeowner to abandon the inspection and possibly his house too. The video ends there, and although there is no concrete explanation for any of this, it would be extremely terrifying for anyone to be in that situation. A group of teenagers went on an adventure in the woods surrounding their town, and on their way back, they got lost. They decided to take a recording of the place to let someone outside direct them out of the forest, but they captured something terrifying. In the video, the man with the camera films the forest and then turns it towards his friends. Only 3 people came with him into the woods, but somehow there are now 4 people behind him, and it becomes clear who the newcomer is. We see what looks like a dark shadow behind the 3 friends. It had the frame of a human but the presence and motion of a ghost. The 3 friends probably thought they were being pranked by the guy recording because the shadow man hid away before they could see him. They definitely had chills when they got to watch the video. At home with his family at night, a homeowner's attention is brought to some disturbance in his backyard. With a flashlight in hand, he goes to check it out, but meets something unexpected. As the video begins, he goes into the forest by the backyard in search of the source of the noise and notices movement behind a tree.
Hey, you want to get away from my house, okay?
But isn't able to make anything of it. So he adjusts the brightness on his flashlight while approaching the tree, and is spooked by what he sees. Out of nowhere, a head peers out from behind the tree and drops back shortly after. And even with the poor lighting, the creature can be seen to have dark hair and dark eyes. Who or what was she, and what was she doing in the homeowner's backyard late at night? Well, the homeowner didn't wait to find out as he took off into his house, locked all the doors, and had a long, quiet, sleepless night. A security staff was on shift at his company's control room. He observed the surveillance videos of the building and noticed something peculiarly odd, so he decided to film it. The video shows the live footage of an empty office in the company. Suddenly, in a dark corner of the office, something is moving in a sideways motion as it disappears and appears multiple times. Upon close inspection, the unknown floating object resembles a face with dark eyes and a wide mouth. And that is more believable because as the face moves, the light from the monitor screen on the table gets covered, showing that as the head moves, the body moves as well. Now we might know that the figure has human-like features, but that doesn't explain its eerie motions and disappearing acts. The video leaves a lot to the imagination, so we'll never know if it was a result of the light deflection, a strange human, or the office ghost. Two brothers were out in their home's backyard, enjoying a game of fetch with their dog. Suddenly, things become less enjoyable, as one of them sees something startling in the forests nearby. He looks into the forest and sees something staring right back in his direction, like it had been watching him all the while. But that wasn't as scary as what he saw next. The creature, which appeared to have been crouching before, suddenly springs up on its legs, revealing its frightening length, and starts walking towards the boys. The creature had what appeared to be black fur covering its entire body and could easily be mistaken for a monkey or a bear, but it walked with so much coordination that some people might associate the creature to be the well-known Bigfoot. The creature approached the boys and flung his very long hands sporadically in the air, which signaled that he wasn't happy to see them. And the boys got the message as they retreated into their home. The video ends there, but the boys will always be very wary that their not-so-friendly next-door neighbor is a territorial Bigfoot. Out on a night stroll through the forest, a man took out his phone to capture the night sky and the forest scenery. While recording, he walks past a tree, notices something behind it, and backtracks to take a closer look at what would be a truly terrifying sight. He gets to the tree and points his phone flashlight to see two bright eyes shining directly at him. Upon close inspection, the eyes appear to be that of a male human, as we see a hand by its side. He also appears to be shirtless as he stares at the passerby without end. The man wastes no time, as his stroll becomes a frantic race out of the forest. Mitchell was at home, honing her drum skills on a drum set belonging to her out-of-town brother. And her mom, quick to seize the moment, decides to capture the scene on video. But what she captures is not just a cool drum session. As the camera rolls, Mitchell's mom moves around, showing off the room. But here's where things go haywire. In the closet, a figure pops up. I'm talking about some girl with pitch black hair, wearing a semi-see-through white gown. And get this, Michelle and her mom are the only ones home. Oblivious to the fact that they're not actually alone. Michelle's drumming her heart out, the ghost in the closet watching it all go down. And then comes the big reveal. The camera swings back to the closet, and guess what? It's empty. That's right, the figure's gone. And that's when it hits. They were chilling with a ghost, and they had zero clue about it. The video cuts off there, but you can imagine that the mom and Michelle had a serious chat about moving out after seeing that footage. A tourist discovered a psychiatric hospital that had been closed down for several years due to numerous reports of paranormal events. He then strolls around the property while recording and catches something you'd expect to see in a horror flick. He's wandering around, filming his adventure, when he points his camera toward the windows. And then, out of nowhere, there's movement. You see it too, right? At the top left window, something's moving past it. But here's the kicker. This hospital's been closed up like no one's supposed to be there. And there's no way anyone should be walking past those windows. So, what the heck is going on? Think about it. There are only a couple of explanations here. Either it's some tricky play of light on the window that's messing with our minds, or it's something way more spine-chilling. A ghost maybe, haunting those abandoned halls. Now, here's the freaky part. The guy with the camera. He's totally clueless about what he just caught on tape. He just keeps on exploring, not realizing the can of worms he's opened. Imagine having all those questions bubbling up in your head and no answers in sight. It's the kind of thing that'd make you think twice about ever going near that place again. When you consider that approximately 80% of the world's ocean is unmapped and unseen, it's a pretty terrifying and mystifying place to explore. These divers are having what seems like a fairly placid marine visit, but keep watching to see what crops up in the murky water. The internet provides us with some perplexing footage. When confronted with a nightmarish creature of this magnitude and its deadly razor-sharp teeth, instead of swimming away, these divers actually go over to pet the beast. On closer inspection, it doesn't appear to be living. Instead, there's a metal frame that it seems to be mounted on. Is this a movie prop for Jaws? If it isn't, the real mystery is how it found its way to the bottom of the ocean. Is there anything creepier than falling victim to a stalker, especially when the creature stalking you is Bigfoot? Caught on camera, two shining eyes appear from a forest canopy. The vast head suggests that this is something you don't want to mess with. The two face off for the duration of the video. Probably a wise move on the cameraman's behalf, not to get any closer. There's an ongoing joke about Bigfoot sightings always captured on shaky, low-res cameras. But the overwhelming number of these sightings does suggest that there is something out there that we have yet to explain. Here, what resembles the half-ape, half-Neanderthal creature moves through a forest, its genus a sure giveaway when you witness its height. There is no greater feeling of terror than being alone at home and having unexplained things happen. Most we can rationalize. It's the wind or it's an old house when we hear something strange, but what do you do when it's as obvious and disturbing as what this guy encounters?
And look at this door. You cannot make look at this. Bro, nobody is home. My family is in Cancun, bro. You gotta be kidding me. Bro. What?
If you ask me, he should have gone to Cancun with his family.
Bentley? Bro, are you me right now? Are you kidding me right now? What the Bro.
Not sure if this is the work of a poltergeist, but I am sure it would be an annoying one to deal with. Imagine the water cost for all their jokes.
Holy. Why is this door open? What the is going on?
I'm not sure if this video is real or not, but if it is, I would for sure not be hanging around that place for too long. Hospitals can be terrifying places for a number of reasons, but this one takes the cake. Watch closely the area to the left of the wheelchair. A shadowy figure appears, and then scurries away in a matter of seconds. You might have been mistaken, thinking it was a shadow, but watch again. Whatever the mischievous vision is, it moves beyond the wall to settle for a few seconds behind the chair before running off again. Let's face it, most horrors are made even creepier with the presence of a little kid, especially a girl child. Now couple that with an imaginary friend who is actually a paranormal imposter, and you have all the makings of a horror fest. This is exactly what happens here. Skeptics might argue that there is a human just beyond the reach of the camera. But look at when she reaches to offer it the plastic container. Whatever is there is in the frame. We just can't see it. She seems agitated by the encounter as she talks to it, and it appears to attempt to take the canister. It isn't long before she turns on her heels and is out of there. A man is walking when he spots something emerging from the forest to his left on all fours. Ghostly pale with a lengthy abdomen and short legs, the creature crosses the path. Where it is going, we will never know, as the guy filming doesn't stick around to find out. What is this thing that he encountered on his walk? How does it survive in the wild? The footage is way too compelling to simply write it off. There are things out there that we have no knowledge of. This exhilarating footage captures the moment that a huge iceberg rises above the water level before tipping over. The sailboat in the foreground provides an interesting scale to the sheer size and volume of the majestic ice show. Rising at great speed, it takes a few seconds to come crashing down, providing some indication for just how much is hidden from view if you consider that only 1/8 of an iceberg is visible on the surface of the water. It isn't every day one gets to combine their love for cats and the paranormal, but this video provides both. Watch as a family's pet feline is given some special attention by an invisible entity captured on their security camera. The feline remains surprisingly calm, as if this isn't its first encounter with the ghost. Watch as it casually saunters off after the experience. Cats often get a bad rap, especially black ones. In Tales from the Occult, black cats are familiars and shapeshifters, witches, spies, and in some instances protectors from the supernatural. Watch as a street camera captures this bizarre incident. Deliberate arson, black magic, or just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You be the judge. Perhaps strange noises late at night prompted the owners of this storage room to place a camera inside to capture the cause. Perhaps someone is staging an elaborate hoax to convince us that this place is haunted. Watch as locker doors swing open and shut as something rattles behind closed doors and a wheelchair goes for a spin on its own. A chance encounter captures this magnificent footage of a stag in its natural habitat. The creature faces off with the voyeur. It stomps its hoof on the ground and snorts. These signals are believed to be a fight or flight response when the animal is confronted by or senses danger. One hopes this sublime specimen escapes intact and doesn't end up as a trophy head on someone's wall. An idyllic natural scene. 2 deer move through the forest to a clear pond to drink when one of them startles at what they see. Is it the creature from the Black Lagoon lurking beneath the surface? Or did this poor kid just catch a glimpse of its own face? A jogger pauses when he encounters something odd on the trail a few meters ahead of him. Zooming in, a black-horned creature is visible hunched over on the side of the road. At first, it is indecipherable based on its position, but on closer inspection, it seems to be sitting with its legs crossed facing the forest. As the jogger attempts to get a better look, the creature spots him and begins to rise. One could speculate that it is more than likely human height. What is this strange entity? A young Baphomet? A teenage prank? If you know, drop us a line in the comments. A shaky low-res camera captures something moving in the forest from a distance. As it settles, a statuesque, dark figure is barely visible in the surrounding forest. Is this the notoriously camera-shy Bigfoot? A group of skiers in Utah captured this rolling avalanche as it occurs. One might wonder why they didn't run the minute it started, but avalanches are a common phenomenon in Utah, which gets hundreds of these a year. However, snowfall is increasing, and the avalanches are becoming bigger and more dangerous than before. Last March there were 150 avalanches recorded, and this year the figure is 250. Watch as this curious black bear spots the trail camera and proceeds to readjust it. Opening up the view to a whole host of wonderful creatures ready for their close-ups. Trail cam footage captures this wonderful sight. A stag spotting a muddy puddle proceeds to dip his antlers in the water before luxuriating his entire body in the mulch. One might think he's enjoying a spa day, but during the mating season, male deer partake in this ritual frequently, and it's not quite as you'd imagine. These male deer wallow in the mud, where they defecate and urinate repeatedly. They use this scent to attract females. The mud also gives them a larger and darker appearance, which makes them more attractive to the female, and helps to intimidate rival males. Amazing camera footage captures this black sphere moving through the sky. It then shoots off, disappearing from view, closely followed by two UFOs that resemble something closer to aircraft. The orb is the most intriguing of these sightings, and is not dissimilar to the UFO in the footage released by the US Pentagon that was seen in Iraq. Other footage recorded the same object, which has been described as a self-illuminated sphere approximately 6 foot in diameter, which was spotted swarming a Navy warship. The Omaha captured on thermal imaging at night this little ball of light flying around. The Omaha sphere is considered to be a true unknown with intelligence, unable to resolve where it came from and where it disappeared to, only that it appeared to vanish into the ocean. Still now, the mystery persists as scientists and UFO experts continue to review footage of these anomalies in the hopes of finding a logical explanation. What are your thoughts? Drop us a line in comments. It is rutting season, the time where deer look to attract a mate. In earlier footage, you saw a stag prepare for courtship. During this season, males will fight and call to attract a female. Deer possess a vast array of vocalizations. For some, the mating call sounds like a car engine starting up followed by a long period of grunting, whilst others, like this stag, release a kind of bellow. Watch as he calls out to a potential mate, or uses this call to ward off any rival males. As you will see, it is followed soon afterwards by a special mud bath. Imagine you and your family are enjoying a harmless evening drive and get chased by a Yeti. Well, this Russian family had such an encounter as an unknown creature chased them in their car, and they believe it was the legendary Yeti. As they drove past, one of them notices a black humanoid figure emerging from the tall grass, which makes me wonder if it truly was Yeti, as I thought Yetis have white hair. They couldn't quite distinguish what the figure looked like, so they reversed to get a better shot. When the figure realized it was being watched, it turned around and started chasing them. It appears to have enormous, protruding hands and moves in a zombie-like manner, giving the impression that it might have been a Yeti. They drive away fast, and the creature retreats back to where it was. Could this really have been the infamous Yeti that resides in the depths of the Himalayan mountains? Could it have decided to take a trip to Russia? 3 cyclists riding in the woods notice they have an unexpected follower on their tails. A bear caught their scent and became interested, so he decides to follow them. Scared for their lives, the cyclists ride away from the bear as fast as they can, but to no avail. The persistent woodland creature was hot on their heels, and so they decided to take a bold move and scare away the beast. They carried their bicycles head high and started to shout, giving the impression that the people the bear was following were actually 3 large beasts, which, by the way, is exactly what you want to do if ever encountering a black bear.
And we gotta stay together. We won't be big.
The bear gave in and walked away, but supposing the bear decided actually not to retreat and charge at them, the events surely would be catastrophic. We have all heard stories about ghosts and how they can be menacing and scare people to the bones. And Leonardo's story is no different. Leonardo has suspected that his house has always been haunted, and his suspicions were confirmed after he installed a fixed camera in his mother's haunted house. The camera caught movements of the oven as it opened and shut, and some of the cooking utensils were even thrown by an invisible force. If you look closely, you will see a shadowy figure moving across the room. He thought he could face it, as it manifested itself in the room he was in, but it proved to be difficult, even though he was steeling himself to remain brave. Leonardo thinks that the entity haunting the house got stronger and stronger over time. But that wasn't all. In the following recording, a pale face seemed to appear from the lower part behind the wall, and without a doubt, I believe we are seeing the spirit of a female. These events are extremely spooky, and the case is still ongoing. Leonardo doesn't know what to make of this haunting. All he can do is to only document everything. Evidence doesn't seem to dry up anytime soon. Something terrifying caught the eyes of this man, and they decided to record it. Underwater, close to the foot of a dock, was an unusual fish having a hair-raising appearance. Its eyes appeared to have been sunken into its head, leaving only 2 white dots as evidence of their presence. It seems as if a skeleton could be staring right at you, if not for its teeth, which protrude forward outward, giving the impression that it would not hesitate to bite your finger if you were to stick it in the water. It seems to mind its own business as it harmlessly floats about and swims away. What fish is that exactly? In the dead of night, in the woods, not far from a man's house, a chilling observation was made, and the owner decided that he needed proof of whatever was out there. We can see in between the trees lie 2 eerie dots staring right at the man's house. As he zooms in, we get a clearer view of the dots, and it is distinct to be a set of eyes. The man tries to identify what the mysterious creature staring at him is by calmly calling out.
Hello?
His voice is shaken and frightened by the occurrences. Could it be a more sinister stalking creature or a reflection of shining objects? Deep in a forest, a man captures evidence of what would seem to be a juvenile Bigfoot. The man seems to be following the creature with his eyes, but quickly turns the camera and zooms into a specific area where it is seen running swiftly across, going deeper into the woods. The small being appears to be bipedal and is covered with a thick brown coat of fur. What was it running from? Did it know it was being filmed and tried quickly to hide somewhere? As it vanishes, viewers are left wondering what this creature could be. This trail camera captures a male deer moving about in the forest, minding its own business until its attention is caught by something unknown. It moves toward the camera's direction and suddenly stops to face the camera's right side. This wonderful video catches a glimpse of its marvelous antlers, and even we get a chance to hear its roar as if it was communicating. Afterward, it continues its merrily walk. We cannot say what the deer saw, as the camera's field of view doesn't cover that direction. Maybe it was a roar to warn any other nearby rival. The sea is home to many unusual-looking sea creatures, and this deep-sea diver encountered one. This fish is one of a kind, and its facial structure resembles no other. It seems friendly, and even the diver touches it as he tries to break a shell to feed it. Its face is more of human-like, and instead of a curve to its head, it has bump on its forehead. What is amazing is how friendly and calm, despite its abnormality. In this clip, a trail camera catches two male deer battling it out in the woods. The two have locked on each other's antlers, and none is ready to tap out and concede defeat. They push each other around while squealing. We can also hear the crackling and clashing of their horns. This is a common practice in the animal kingdom, as the male animals have to battle it out in order to fulfill having a female counterpart. This family was out camping in the woods when they encounter something that seems to be watching them. Their phone camera records a really tall creature passing in between the tree line. Although it is foggy, the camera is able to reveal a clear footage of it. It seems to be walking on twos and is completely covered with black fur. I cannot distinguish what it is, but from the minimal description I have gathered, this seems to be some sort of Sasquatch. For all we know, this creature resembles a Bigfoot, and its intentions are truly unknown. A man stranded in the wilderness of Russia is met with a chilling experience. His truck broke down, and he decided to search the snowy land for help. He searched for a long period, but he finds no help. As his stay in the wilderness grows longer, he begins to suspect that he is not alone. He starts to record and captures a creature that has been on his track for a while and could be watching him. The eerie creature appears to walk on four limbs, its eyes glittering in the darkness, and tries to narrow the distance between it and the stranded man. It has a humanoid head and moves in an inquiring manner, as though curious to know more about the man stranded in its native land. What could this creature be? Could it be a man in a costume trying to play a harmless prank on the unsuspecting visitor? Or could it actually be a cryptid creature? A certain man was in a forest alone, for God knows what reason. He catches a really bizarre creature between the trees in the middle of the night. As the man was walking, he filmed his path to document what happened to him, and what he saw would leave him puzzled as to what lurks in the woods at night. The camera catches the figure which is standing close to a tree. It stands tall on 2 feet, almost human. As soon as it realizes it was spotted, it moves behind the tree, fleeing into the woods. The man tried to follow its path, but to no avail, as it disappeared as though it were never there in the first place. What could this mysterious creature be? It certainly sends chills down the spine, as it seems to dwell in the woods in the middle of the night, What was it doing stalking the man in the forest? Or could it have been planning to do something sinister and simply lost interest when it discovered it was spotted? A wildlife enthusiast in Vancouver, in British Columbia, decided to set up a trail camera to investigate a deer carcass to see if it would attract any animals at nighttime, just yards from her house, only to find this terrifying picture. The wildlife cam reveals two scantily clad women squatting beside the carcass. Their faces are covered with long black hair. What's really horrifying is one of the women seems to be reaching for the carcass with long webbed fingers. These pictures have caused a wave of speculation, and even some have suggested that it could be witches, or even worse, walking demons. Were they feasting on the carcass? The picture becomes more sinister when we spot a man's boot next to one of the women. Although the man's upper body can't be seen, it is weird that he is there. What could be his association with the two uncanny women? Could it be that the women were being forced to do this by that man? Or could the man be one of them and also wouldn't mind taking a bite? When I saw the boots of the man surrounded by these crazy women, I could only think of the ritualistic cult of Charles Manson. Is this something similar in our days? A TikToker who posts videos of strange events happening around her home was startled at the sound she heard while putting her chicks away in the pen.
What the fuck?
The sound coming from the forest was like an animal's cry for help. And so she shined her torchlight into the woods while recording. She captures a white figure next to a tree. At first glance, it wasn't there, but when she circled back to look in the same direction, her camera was able to capture a thin white figure at the left side of a tree. The strangest thing was that the figure disappeared after being out of the camera's recording range. Could it be that the mysterious white figure was making those eerie sounds in the forest? Or could it have scared an animal in the woods and caused it to make the bizarre sound? On a clear day, a man happens to capture what looks like Bigfoot casually walking out through a small clearing of a forest and back into the woods. The creature's features may prove it to be Bigfoot, as it walks on twos and appears much more prominent than the average human height. Its arms extend downwards below the waistline and seem to have a thick coat of brown fur. The video quality isn't as clear and makes it hard to make out what the face looks like, but its tall, towering stature, long ape-like arms, and the appearance of thick fur could be an indication of the existence of the cryptid Bigfoot. A woman enjoying the comfort of her home on a sofa happens to see something strange at the window right next to her door that sends chills down her spine. A dark figure appears at the window, also captures the attention of two of her dogs, who stare at the door, putting the lady's nerves on edge. She starts to record it, and the dark figure disappears after some time. The dogs disperse, notifying the lady that the supposed danger that appeared on her door may be gone, but it leaves the lady puzzled as to what this figure could be, and its intentions. For all we know, it could be a shadow of a harmless animal walking around and happening to wind up at her front door, or maybe something sinister could be lurking around stalking on the house residents. Two kids were recording their adventure while in the woods when they heard screams coming from deeper within. The screams started as a faint cry for help, but as they walked deeper into the forest, they grew louder, as though someone was desperately trying to escape an ordeal. At first, they think it is some children trying to summon demons by shouting. To them, it appears to be some kind of a joke, but the louder the screams got, the scarier they became. Eventually, they near where their screams were. They panic, and they decide to retreat from the forest into a nearby grassland. Even after distancing from the scene, they could still hear the desperate cries for help from the forest. The kids might have presumed it to be a joke, but maybe something serious could be happening, and a victim needed help. I think it would be best if the kids could have dialed and reported to the authorities. This wildlife enthusiast was taking a nature walk in the middle of the forest when he caught it all with his camera. There, when he zooms his camera, the creature comes into view. It is in a hunched position, making it hard to recognize its face. It has a towering height and covered with thick brown fur. It notices it is being watched and tries to hide between the branches. As the video continues, the creature struts away, leaving the witness speculated. Maybe this could be an ordinary orangutan that could be easily mistaken with the legendary Bigfoot. This polar bear in Russia appeared at the front of a man's house. To the man's surprise, it wasn't acting in a ferocious manner as expected of one. Rather, it was as if it was asking for something. He decides to take a closer look, and it seems a can was stuck on the polar bear's tongue and needed help removing it. He tries to pull it with his hands, but the can appears to be lodged too deeply to make much of a difference. The bear had to be for sure having some pain, and even maybe it had gone days without food. Out of pity, the man decides to call for help, and animal specialists come to the bear's aid. They are able to retrieve the can, and they even place the bear back to its habitat. A polar bear would likely never approach humans like this, but I am assuming that this was a result of how desperate she was for help and how weak she was from hunger. In this clip, a young couple are visited by an unexpected visitor who constantly was knocking the door and trying to forcefully enter. Their dog barks, putting them on high alert that this could be a potential threat. They are scared to the bones, but the man decides to make a bold move. He turns on the lights on the stairs and starts to walk down towards the door to check out what could be making these ominous noises at their door. As he nears the door, the knocking noises suddenly stop. He tries to inquire who it is,
Hello?
but there is no answer. Suddenly, without warning, it appears as if the mysterious being manages to enter and video ends while the man flees from the imminent danger. Could this be a malevolent spirit known to cause disturbances in households? Or somebody dangerous could be terrorizing them? Imagine being all alone in a forest in the middle of the night, and you suddenly get the gut feeling you are being watched. Well, this curious man was not new to this when he encountered something really strange in the woods. Upon spotting something with his flashlight, he decides to record it. When he zooms on the figure, there, it reveals itself. A gray ghost entity appears right next to a tree, just right beside the path. The person in this clip might have a story to tell as horror unravels in front of their eyes. The ghost-like entity appears to be slowly rising up, exposing more of its pale structure. It has elongated arms that stretch below its supposed waistline. Its face isn't clearly seen, but it has taken a humanoid form. I think this is some type of cryptid, or worse, it could be the infamous skinwalker. What would you do when faced with such a figure that looks to be straight out of a horror film? This clip shows a mountain lion covered in snow, stuck atop a rock ledge. There are 3 dogs, all with trackers on their necks, baying the mountain lion up the side of the rock. Although it's hard to tell, the mountain lion is pretty massive. It's puffed up to look larger, but it is still thick and well muscled. It is unable to make a move since it is surrounded by the 3 dogs, which seem to alert the owner of its presence. Their barks and uneasy movements may indicate that they are alert on the mountain lion presence and seem to be warning the owner. The mountain lion appears to be calm and only keeps opening its mouth. Mountain lions have been known to ambush livestock and human settlement, and this dog courageously seemed to have chased it away and cornered it. With a mountain lion as big as the one in the clip, it's a good thing that it didn't turn and attack. It probably would have made short work of those dogs. A man walking in the forest stumbles upon a strange sight that is worth a shot. He captures a tall, huge figure standing at the top of the sloped forest. At first, we only see the figure's tall, towering stature, but when it faces the camera direction, we are able to make out some of the figure's features. It appears to walk like a human, but it has an abnormal height. It has a relatively small head in relation to the body and tall, lanky, long arms. We are not able to make out whether the figure had fur on its body. One might say it is a human with a large costume, trying to cause a speculation, but this figure is truly a remarkable one, and it could be a rare sighting of the Bigfoot. In the dead of night, a man and his daughter caught something watching them in the grasslands. As they shine their light into the dark, they happen to see 2 shiny objects that look like shining orbs. As soon as they move around, we can easily see that is a creature of some sort, and the glowing eyes could be actually stalking on them. The man notifies the creature that they know it is there.
I see you.
But it responds by drifting away. Perhaps it could be an animal who happened to pass by. And its attention was caught by the people in the grasslands, or something else that we don't know of and likes to walk around in the middle of the night stalking people. In this clip, a bulldog shows great courage when it comes face to face with a mountain lion. The clip begins as the dog appears to be scratching something off a tree. The dog catches the scent of something unusual and lifts its nose to figure out what it is. In the far back of the camera, 2 eyes of a mountain lion are seen keeping a close eye on the dog, as if waiting for the perfect moment to pounce on its prey. It moves away from the camera, and the lion starts to closely follow back. As the lion moves into attack, the dog takes notice and counters, scaring the lion and chasing it away. A trail camera, in the middle of the day, catches these 2 male reindeers going head to head in an all-out battle. They lock horns, each trying to exhaust the other. One of them appears to be younger, since its horns haven't developed as much. The reason for their fight is unknown. Maybe it could be for the privilege to mate with a dew, or it could be they are fighting for dominance. Either way, the reason seems to be motivating enough, as both don't want to give up. The fight goes on until something catches their attention. This seemed to stop their fight as none of them attacked the other, and they both went their separate ways. This ghoulish animal in the video was caught off the Malaysian coast by fisherman Anwar Pak Tam, and though it looks like an eel, it's something else entirely. It is elongated, having a wide mouth with sharp teeth at the front and dorsal fins coming out of its sides. What's weird is that the creature seems to have no eyes. Some people speculated the creature to be a sea monster, but in fact it is a type of eel called the eel goby. Eel gobies are a subfamily of elongated mud. They have greatly reduced eyes and large mouths. However, the one in the clip appears to be very large for an eel goby, as most of them are smaller in size, and can sometimes be found in groups. They can be pink, red, or purple in color. They are carnivorous. as some are seen being fed the claw of a crab. As scary as it looks, they are common in muddy coastal areas. This is footage from a few hikers somewhere in Asia. We can see they are hiking somewhere in the mountains at night, with the only source of light being the flashlight from the camera they have. They seem to be looking around at a rock formation, possibly having spotted something that caught their eyes. As the cameraman comes closer to a creek in the mountain, he hears some sort of growling. At first, it's hard to see anything, but as the camera gets closer to a creek in the mountain, the creature becomes more visible. The creature seems to be trying to hide, and as the camera zooms in, we can see a humanoid shape with a grayish head and large black eyes. The creature's movements are swift and erratic, and it appears to be peering at the hikers from behind a rock. The hikers become frightened and run away as fast as they can. The video raises a lot of questions about what the creature could be. Could it be an animal that has not yet been discovered or identified? Or could it be something else entirely, such as a cryptid or extraterrestrial? The footage is not clear enough to say for certain, but it is certainly intriguing. There have been many sightings of strange humanoid creatures all over the world, and many people believe that there are creatures such as skinwalkers, which roam the forests, looking for their next prey. This video was taken by a father who took his daughter out for a walk in the forest. For a long while, he was just walking around, filming his daughter explore and have fun in nature. But at some point, they got to a clearing in the forest, and as they were looking around, the camera picked some big figure moving between the trees. At first glance, it may seem like an animal, but as the footage is zoomed in, it becomes clear that the figure appears to be a large, hairy creature, potentially resembling the mythical Bigfoot. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is generally depicted as a large bipedal humanoid covered in hair or fur, which seems to match what we have on this video. None of the parties seem to have noticed one another at that time. Was it just luck that this father did not have to face Bigfoot to save his daughter? However, it is possible that the video has been edited to include the figure, or that it is a clever hoax created by someone hoping to create a viral video. What do you think? Is this video authentic? This trail camera caught a strange sight. We immediately can see some sort of humanoid creature making its way across the field in a slow manner. But what is strange about this is that it seems like a deformed human, with long arms and legs, using all four of them to move awkwardly. The creature in the video seems to have human-like characteristics, but its elongated limbs and awkward movements suggest something much more unusual. It's possible that this could be an undiscovered cryptid, a creature that has yet to be identified by science. There have been numerous reports of cryptids throughout history, and many of them share similar characteristics to the creature captured in this video. Some researchers believe that cryptids could be surviving remnants of prehistoric animals, while others think that they could be the result of genetic mutations or some sort of unknown evolutionary process. Of course, it's also possible that the video could have been edited or manipulated in some way. With modern technology, it's relatively easy to create convincing hoaxes that can fool even the most discerning viewer. However, without additional evidence, it's impossible to say for sure whether the creature in the video is real or not. In this video, we can see someone stopped in a car in the middle of a forest road at night with no light other than that from the car's headlights. We immediately realize why the driver had stopped in that place, as in the front of the car we can see some white silhouette on the right side of the road. The entity begins moving across the road slowly. If we look closely at where its feet should be, we can somewhat discern some leg movements, as if it indeed is a human walking. But clearly from its ephemeral shape, it is not. So perhaps it is a ghost, a remnant of a human soul trapped in this world. Of course, there are those who may argue that the figure in the video is simply an optical illusion or some sort of natural phenomenon. But for believers in the paranormal, the video is a powerful piece of evidence that suggests the existence of ghosts. Many theories have been put forward to explain the existence of ghosts, ranging from the idea that they are the spirits of deceased individuals who have not yet moved on to the afterlife, to the notion that they are the result of residual energy left behind by past events. Regardless of the explanation, ghost sightings continue to fascinate people and provoke debate. The video captured during the storm presents a truly awe-inspiring sight. As the waves crash into the rocks, one cannot help but feel the sheer power of the ocean. But what truly catches our attention is the glimpse of something else in the distance. As we focus on the object in the distance, our eyes cannot help but lock onto the massive tentacles emerging from the water. They are huge, and judging from the distance, we can only imagine how colossal they must be up close. This begs the question, could this be the legendary Kraken? Legends of the Kraken go back centuries, and many sailors have reported seeing giant tentacles rising from the water. In recent years, there have been accounts of colossal squids, which can grow up to 42 feet in length, and it is not difficult to imagine that there are other unknown, massive creatures lurking in the deep. But what is it that makes this particular sighting so intriguing? It is the fact that the video appears to show the tentacles in motion of a gigantic living creature that is lurking deep in the water. The possibility that a creature of such immense size could exist is truly fascinating. We have only explored a small fraction of the ocean's depths. Could this video be evidence of a giant sea monster? The trail camera footage captured a rare and exciting sight. A white-colored black bear. The bear was spotted rummaging through bait that had been placed by a hunter, and the camera managed to capture a clear image of the animal. The footage was sent to the Department of Natural Resources, who have yet to confirm the bear's white fur, but based on the images, they are fairly certain that this is indeed a rare white-furred black bear. According to specialists, black bears with white fur are not albinos or polar bears, but rather the result of a rare genetic chance. White-furred black bears are born almost exclusively in Western Canada, where a subspecies of the American black bear, known as the Kermode bear, resides. Between 10-20 of the Kermode bear population has white fur, and they are sometimes referred to as spirit bears. The bear captured in the western Upper Peninsula of Michigan is estimated to be around 2 years old, and is an especially rare and exciting sighting. The footage from the trail camera provides a glimpse into the fascinating and diverse world of animal genetics, and reminds us of the incredible biodiversity that exists in the natural world. In this video, a man ventures into the green woods as dusk falls, casting a dim light through the trees. He's using a flashlight to navigate and explore. As he moves the light around, something startling catches his attention. A pair of glowing eyes peering at him from behind the foliage. The sight is eerie, the eyes shining in the darkness amidst the green leaves. The glowing eyes in the dim forest create a spooky atmosphere. It's a common occurrence in the wild for certain animals' eyes to reflect light, giving them an otherworldly glow. The question arises, what kind of creature is watching from the shadows? Is it a nocturnal animal native to the woods, or something more mysterious? Given the setting and the nature of wildlife, my opinion leans towards the eyes belonging to a forest animal, perhaps a deer or a raccoon. The woods at night can make even the most familiar creatures seem mysterious and unnerving. In a video captured by a surveillance camera overlooking a wooded path, a startling event unfolds. A boy is walking along the path when, suddenly, a black, translucent shadow with a human shape appears from one side. In an unexpected and chilling moment, the shadowy figure seems to push the boy. Startled and knocked off balance, the boy quickly gets up. Then, just as abruptly as it appeared, the shadow vanishes, leaving the boy alone and understandably frightened, prompting him to run away. This mysterious encounter raises questions about what the shadow could be. It looks like a ghost, especially with its translucent appearance and the way it interacts with the boy. While the idea of a ghost is intriguing and fits the eerie nature of the video, it's also worth considering other explanations like a trick of light or a reflection that created an illusion of a human shape. In this video, a security guard is walking through the halls of a hospital, recording his routine patrol. The hospital corridors are quiet and seemingly ordinary. However, as he turns a corner, something unusual and unsettling occurs. A humanoid figure briefly appears from behind a corner and then, just as suddenly, vanishes into thin air. The brief appearance of this figure in the sterile clinical setting of a hospital adds to the eeriness of the encounter. Was it just another person in the hospital? Perhaps a patient or a staff member playing a prank? Or could it be something more mysterious, like a ghost, given the way it disappeared so abruptly? Considering the setting and the nature of the incident, it's tempting to lean towards a supernatural explanation. This hunter caught one of the most amazing footage of Bigfoot while he was standing on his deer stand, waiting for some hunt. But he quickly realizes that the forest is home to more than just deer, as he begins to spot a big humanoid figure stalking.
What in the world is that thing? Doesn't look like a deer.
This went on for 20 minutes, as this Bigfoot seemed to inspect the area, as if he knew something was off about this area. If we zoom in on the creature, it appears fully covered in brown hair with a big and frightening body, while at the same time moving as if he was fully confident to be in that forest. But what came after was truly terrifying. Deep howls in the forest, as if calling for someone, or threatening anyone who would dare to enter its domain. The hunter at this point was frightened enough and quickly forgot any idea of hunting deer that day.
I've never seen anything like that before in my whole life. I'm out of here.
These captivating photographs were captured by a motion detection trail camera equipped with night vision capabilities. We can immediately see an enigmatic figure, an anomaly amidst the natural backdrop of the forest. The subject of these photographs is undeniably strange. Its humanoid appearance is unmistakable, yet it lacks the conventional attire associated with humans. Instead, its entire form is enveloped in a dense covering of hair, evoking a sense of primal wilderness. Examining the creature's physique, we are drawn to its remarkably elongated arms, reminiscent of those found in monkeys or apes, which I am pretty sure are not freely roaming the USA. The creature's robust build further defies easy classification, leaving us perplexed and in search of answers. Many people have proposed that these images may capture a creature of legend, the elusive and mysterious Bigfoot. Tales of this legendary creature have persisted for generations, often described as a towering being inhabiting remote wilderness areas. And as we've seen in previous videos, there are more and more sightings of these beings. Could we finally get closer to finding the truth? In the heart of the dense forest, Nestled in his cabin, a man finds himself thrust into a spine-tingling encounter. The tranquility of his surroundings is shattered by a bone-chilling sound that reaches his ears. An unmistakable growl that resonates through the trees.
For whatever reason, they're pretty close to the house this morning. Just out of sight, like usual. I gotta get to the truck to get to work. I don't really want to leave this porch.
The man listens intently. The growl, while reminiscent of a bear, carries an unusual depth that sets it apart from the familiar. It fills the air, signaling the presence of a creature that is not to be taken lightly. Whatever might be out there, the man says this creature seems to be pretty close by the sounds, but he does not seem to be fazed by that. But he says that he does not want to leave his house for work, considering what might be waiting out there. This footage is from somewhere in North Australia, and we can see three guys who are posing for a photo, when in fact, the person holding the camera was filming them. As they are setting up their poses for the photo, the camera caught something bizarre passing behind them. The creature that passed them triggered a sense of intense fear, as we've just seen. Upon closer examination, slowing down the footage grants us a glimpse of this enigmatic creature. It defies conventional categorization, seemingly merging characteristics of both a dog and a human. Its elongated limbs resemble those of a human, yet they possess a slender, otherworldly quality. Cloaked in darkness, it traverses the terrain gracefully, utilizing all four limbs to move with an unsettling agility. This trail camera caught a strange sight in the middle of a forest at night. We can see some lights appear and disappear in the distance. According to the owner, there is no house in sight, and the forest is dense enough. There aren't many people traveling in that forest, and it would be especially strange for someone to be in it at that hour. The way the light moves from one part to another also seems strange. Could it be just some hikers lost in the forest, or is it something else? Has somebody else encountered things like this? We can see this video from the viewpoint of one of the bikers who are going through a thick Asian forest by the looks of it. For a long while, nothing weird is going on. They are just going through the forest, enjoying the sunny day.
Hey, good job.
At some point, they get off their bikes for a rest, and the biker leaves his camera on a rock. But suddenly, one of the bikers spots something, not understanding what he's seeing.
That?
They go to investigate, but can no longer find what they initially spotted. But if we replay the clip in slow motion and zoom into what they saw, we can find a bizarre sight. Some sort of a creature with long arms and really sharp and long fingers, looking like some dangerous claws. The creature moves away from the rock as they spot it, perhaps being spooked by the bikers. So what exactly was that? It is indeed a very strange and scary sight, but is it real? I find it hard to believe that someone in a forest, upon spotting some sort of creature stalking, would just go closer to investigate. But what do you think? A group of individuals stumbled upon a peculiar discovery near a river that left them both intrigued and unsettled. The object in question possessed an eerie and unusual appearance. But what made it even more disconcerting was the fact that it appeared to be in motion. As the person is cutting into it, the tissue seemed to come back together, which makes it even scarier. Curiosity led me to search online for similar occurrences, and I came across something known that looks similar, but I am not sure if they are the same as what we see in this video. These are known as tubifex worms. These worms are fascinating creatures that have the ability to densely pack themselves together, giving the illusion of living tissue. They are commonly found in the sediment of lakes, rivers, and even occasionally in sewer lines. But even with a logical explanation, encountering these worms in such environments can be a bizarre and bewildering experience. And let me know if you think what we've seen in the original video can't be that. The footage captured by a CCTV camera reveals a truly peculiar occurrence. In the dead of night, when the streets are devoid of activity, an unexpected sight unfolds. From the corner of the frame, a movement catches our attention, drawing us closer to the scene. Within moments, a humanoid figure emerges, seemingly leaping effortlessly from the ground onto the top of a nearby wall. Balanced on all fours, it maintains an uncanny pose before swiftly descending and disappearing from view. Upon closer examination, the figure appears to possess the general shape and appearance of a human being. However, there are distinct aspects that defy conventional understanding. The creature's movements exhibit an extraordinary level of agility and coordination, surpassing what is typically observed in humans. The fluidity and grace with which it traverses the environment leave us questioning its true nature. Could this enigmatic presence be attributed to a cryptid, a creature of folklore or myth venturing out under the cover of darkness, searching for its next unsuspecting victim? This security footage, captured inside a bar, offers a glimpse into a seemingly ordinary night. People come and go, engaged in lively conversations and enjoying their drinks. The atmosphere appears relaxed and uneventful until the late hours when closing time approaches. The scene transitions, leaving only the bartender and two other individuals within the frame. Unexpectedly, an eerie occurrence takes place. The chair positioned closest to the camera begins to move of its own accord. It sways gently back and forth, initially unnoticed by the three men engrossed in their work. As the chair continues its rhythmic rocking, it eventually falls right onto the floor. The sudden commotion captures their bewildered expressions as they investigate the peculiar incident. Together, they promptly restore the chair to its rightful place, but still wondering what caused it to fall. However, unbeknownst to them, as they focus their attention on the fallen chair, a subtle presence passes by in the background. Upon closer scrutiny of the footage, a ghostly figure emerges, bearing the likeness of a child. Its translucent form suggests a spectral entity, perhaps that of a playful spirit lingering within the bar's walls. Could it be the mischievous ghost of a child, finding amusement in pranks enacted upon unsuspecting people during the late hours?
We're gonna pull a catfish on board. Whoa, he's pissed off. Look. He's definitely alive.
He's like, I'm eating that. You're not taking my food from me.
This footage is from a few people who found one of the strangest sights you can find in a lake. A giant catfish with something stuck in its mouth. The people inside the boat come closer and try to pull it, thinking that it is dead. However, as they do that, they quickly realize it is still alive and kicking. After a while, they get a hold of the fish, and we can clearly see what is stuck inside its mouth, a turtle. This fish, as big as it is, went for something too large for its mouth and got stuck in this situation. The people on board try to get the turtle out, but it seems to be stuck there. They pull the catfish on board and continue trying to pull the turtle.
There we go. Oh!
Okay.
After a while, the guy manages to get the turtle out, which looks completely filthy from being inside that fish for so long. The people on board decided it's best to release the catfish after such an experience. Thankfully, in the end, both the turtle and the catfish got out well of that sticky situation. At 12 minutes past 3, in the secluded woods, a trail camera picks up an unusual sight. A hand or a foot appears before the lens, but it is clearly not human. With black skin and short, stubby nails, the limb certainly belongs to some ape-like creature. There is nothing else to let on what the limb belongs to. There is no protruding hair, usually accompanied by an ape. So, is this indeed one? Or could it belong to a more recluse creature, such as a Bigfoot? The nails also look very sharp for a human or ape. They look like they belong to a predator, so could it be a wolfman rather than Bigfoot? What do you think? Let's take a moment to catch our breath and slowly let it out, because even we aren't quite sure how this girl ended up in the middle of nowhere, late at night, in a clearing surrounded by woods. At least to me, it looks to be a girl in a white robe in the middle of the forest at midnight. She looks young and completely alone, wearing nothing but a nightdress and going barefoot. Her long hair hangs loosely around her shoulders, adding to the mysterious vibe. And guess what? She's actually walking away from the camera. The weird ghostly blur around the lens doesn't give us much to go on, leaving us scratching our heads and longing for some much-needed clarity. Could it be something else on the lens that gives the appearance of a ghost? This is another video where the innocence of animals can be observed. However, in another more sinister case. This beautiful dog sits at attention by its master's back door, and it watches the surroundings, as if waiting for something. The master is the one who has set up the camera, because they had become aware of their dog's unusual habit of sitting at the back door at night, and sometimes even barking violently, only for the owner to see nothing outside, and so they wanted to try and see what it was that made their beloved pet so unnerved. It is silent. It dare not make a noise. However, there is something creepy going on. A tapping on the window which does not sound normal. Perhaps a creak of a wooden floor. There is not a shadow of a doubt that there is something trying to get inside. Or is it already inside? If you focus on the blinds on the door, you will notice them slowly rise during the course of the video. The dog certainly notices. It is when they start to lift that the dog utters a small cry. It tilts its head to follow the path of the blinds. But it does not run away in terror. It takes its duty as protector of the house seriously. So, it waits and watches. If we were fortunate enough to witness this video, accompanied by audio, there is no doubt that the tremor of fear and the piercing notes of desperation would reverberate through the voices of these men. As the footage starts, our attention is fixed on the distant horizon, oblivious to the impending spectacle that is about to unfold. Suddenly, the very fabric of the horizon undergoes a transmutation, evolving and expanding before our eyes. It is as if an immense ocean monster stirs from its slumber. The men, caught in the grip of sheer panic, swiftly comprehend the malevolence within this titanic force of nature. Their panic skyrockets, their voices cracking with fear as they realize the imminent danger that looms. We can only assume the colossal wave, defying all expectations, continues to surge higher and higher, seemingly reaching for the heavens themselves. In this heart-stopping moment, every instinct screams at the men to flee, to escape the wrath of this unforgiving force. Yet, with each passing second, the towering wall of water grows more menacing, instilling a sense of helplessness in the face of nature's unrelenting power. Mushrooms, but these look awfully creepy. The mushrooms we are confronted with in this peculiar video defy conventional notions of aesthetics, and most likely taste as well. They appear to be something out of this world, a mysterious anomaly in the realm of fungi. Rising defiantly from the ground, these extraordinary specimens stretch their sinewy forms toward the heavens above. In the footage, the cameraman, driven by curiosity, employs a tool to make contact with these extraordinary mushrooms, attempting to provoke a response. Astonishingly, the mushrooms react to his touch, exhibiting a responsiveness that defies our expectations. Such behavior is unlike anything we have encountered in nature. The very nature of these fungi remains shrouded in mystery, leaving us wondering if they are indeed mushrooms or something altogether different. We are first met with the cutest of faces. A young seal sits aboard a boat, yet another example of an innocent animal. It hides, however, from another animal that might not be as innocent. The camera pans to the water, and we are met with the fearsomely majestic orca whales. The woman doing the filming turns her attention back to the seal, asking it where it came from.
Where did you come from? I never even seen you out there.
She already suspects why it has come aboard. It is when she turns the camera directly below the boat that our heart catches in our mouth. The orca whales, presumably suspecting the location of the seal, circle her boat. Their large mass is an imposing sight. We soon learn that there are at least 4 orca whales around the woman's boat. We can hear the desperation and fear in her voice as she repeats over and over that she doesn't know what to do.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do.
The situation is a fierce predicament. Her very life is in peril because of the seal she is harboring. If she sends the seal to the water, it will very surely die. If she does not, however, there is a good chance that she might. The power and majesty of nature is intimidating. The depths of our oceans hold a myriad of strange and unsettling creatures, some of which have been immortalized in historical accounts and folklore. We are familiar with legends of colossal beings like the Kraken and the Megalodon. Yet, amidst our knowledge, there exists a certain creature that eludes our understanding. This beast defies the natural order, a grotesque mutation that amalgamates the traits of an insect and a cockroach, but on a scale that defies imagination. It is the Megalodon of cockroaches, a creature so colossal and formidable that it takes the combined strength of over 9 grown men to contain it. Just like its tiny earthly counterparts, it boasts the unmistakable pincers and leg structure of a cockroach. However, what sets it apart are the peculiar wings adorning its scaly body. The origins of this creature remain shrouded in mystery. Has humanity managed to track down and eradicate the last remnants of its species? Or perhaps, was there only ever one of its kind? I did some digging around this, and it seems pictures such as the one you've just seen, or this one, are in fact fake and created by an artist who I have included in this video's description if you are interested in seeing more of his artworks. I am just amazed at how real they look. Concealed within the thick foliage, a group of adventurous tourists find themselves in a remarkable and unsettling situation. Emerging gracefully from the bushes are a majestic grizzly bear and her 2 adorable cubs. Contrary to expectations, the bears exhibit a serene demeanor, devoid of any signs of aggression. The fortunate tourists are granted a rare and awe-inspiring encounter with these magnificent creatures. Amidst the mixture of fear and wonder, they understand the precariousness of the situation. However, against the odds, they manage to navigate this encounter unscathed, preserving both their lives and the memory of this unforgettable experience. The cameraman finds himself in a situation filled with mixed emotions of worry and excitement. Faced with a mysterious being, possibly Bigfoot, he quickly instructs his loved ones to seek safety indoors while he embarks on a pursuit.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
The anticipation builds as the large, hairy creature moves cautiously along the side of a forest road, eventually vanishing into the dense foliage. Amidst the pursuit, Occasional grunts and ape-like hoots pierce the air, hinting at the creature's presence. These vocalizations could be interpreted as warnings, signaling to the cameraman to back off and maintain distance. The creature's intent becomes clearer through its vocal communication, urging caution on the cameraman's part. The cameraman's decision to heed the warning serves as sound advice, considering the creature's imposing size and evident strength. For more captivating content like this, click here. Thank you for tuning in.